midnight or so, a group of individuals, about 20 or 30 of them, decided to throw a little party.
They were guests in a hotel, you mean?
Guests in a hotel.
What kind of party? I'm afraid to ask.
What kind of party? Drinking beer, running up and down the hall.
My kind of party, huh?
Yeah, banging on the door, using profanity, waking people up. I mean, these individuals were bad.
These kids?
Huh?
Kids?
Oh, 25, 30. Yeah.
Inexcusable. Go ahead.
Yeah. Called down to the manager at the front desk. You know, I said, what's going on up here? I want it stopped. We'll take care of it. After the fourth time, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning, I said, look, either you send somebody up right now or I'm calling the cops. He said, whoa. He said, you're out of line. You have no right calling the cops.
He said you're out of line?
Told me I was out of line. He said, if anybody's going to call the cops, it's going to be me.
Well, then you tell him to get on to use his nickel.
Yeah. So, I called him back. Yeah, so I kept on calling him back, and he wouldn't help me out.
You're staying there just one night in this place?
Yeah, we're on our way.
Yeah, okay, in transit. Go ahead.
Yeah, and, okay, well, so then I said, you know, let me talk to the manager. Oh, she's not here. You're going to have to wait till the morning. I was up first thing in the morning, went down and talked to the manager, and, I had no cooperation from her at all.
What did she say?
She said, sir, you should have brought this to our attention last night. I said, I did. She said, well, why don't you change rooms? I said, change rooms? I said, I was fearing for my life. I said, I wouldn't dare leave my wife in the room.
And furthermore, nobody offered to let you change rooms.
Right. He didn't want to know nothing. And then she said, well, you know, if you have a problem, you're supposed to take care of it that night. And, you know, I explained to her, you know, we're on our honeymoon.
Oh, well, look, you didn't have to explain that much to this lady. And I use that word advisedly. I was going to use the big bad B word, but everybody gets upset about that. Clearly, the hotel was wrong on every issue. They should have, A, straightened out the event happening in the halls, if it's as you described it.
It is.
Now, it may be the guy was afraid to do that. B, offered at the very least to put you in another section of the hotel where you get peace and quiet. And the next morning, she should have said, gee, I'm terribly sorry, we're not going to charge you. Did you put this on a credit card?
Yes, I did.
Well, I wouldn't pay the bill. I would put that in the contest in a wink.
Okay.
I would say, and the back of the paper, why you put it in contest? Because you felt that your life was in danger, that you couldn't sleep, that they did nothing to solve the problem, and then the following morning, they had the temerity to tell you that you should have called and taken care of it the night before.
Right.
I wouldn't pay that forever. I put that in contest.
Thank you.
Clearly, you wonder what these people are thinking about.
Yeah, I know.
You got to, how old was this manager?
55.
Oh, dear Lord. If she was 16, I'd say, well, forgive her. 55, there's no forgiveness in my soul.
I said, you know, if people want to have a good time and throw a party, we can't stop them from having a party.
That's absolutely untrue.
I said, listen, not at my expense, I said. You know?
It's absolutely untrue.
Yeah.
I mean, what, is it a hotbed joint or something?
I don't know. No, this is a major hotel.
Well, some of the major hotels are hotbed joints, too. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't pay the bill. How much is the room for the night?
$1 something a night.
Oh, no way. I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't have paid him that day. Did you sign the thing when you left?
Yeah, I told her I didn't want to pay. She said, sir, you have to pay the room.
No, you don't.
I know. I didn't want to start getting into a little arguing match, so I just said, give me the bill, and I walked out.
I would have paid it. But then either there, you paid it under protest. You paid it because they were called upon. I wouldn't pay it. I would put that in the context immediately. And furthermore, you said this is a major change, probably a franchise.
Yeah.
I would write a letter to the. First of all, what you have to do is call the public library. They can tell you precisely, quickly, where the home office of this company is, and the chief executive officer's name and address. I'd pop him a letter saying I'd photocopy the thing that you're putting into contest, and say this is why I'm doing it. I stayed here because of your fine reputation. I don't understand how you can allow someone like this to continue a franchise. Please respond. And you might say that you discussed this on national radio with me in front of about 10 million Americans, and we're looking for an answer.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
And then you owe me the answer. I want to hear what the guy has to say.
Okay, Bruce.
You got to be continued. Fair enough?
Thanks.
Hell of a way to start a married life, huh? Grand Rapids, Michigan. It is your turn. Hello there.
Hi, Bruce.
Hello.
Well, I'm having a little problem with vandals.
Another guy with vandals. This is vandal night here.
I guess so.
What's
it's
happening?
Halloween. My father owns 2 acres in a suburb of Grand Rapids, and I live on the property with my husband.
All right.
The property is surrounded by subdivisions on 2 sides. I'm having problems with some vehicles that we have stored on the property, which are ours, my uncle's.
What kind of vehicles?
One of them's an antique, and that's what got us in this mess.
How old a car is that?
Oh, in the 60s. 60, it's an Impala.
Not hardly. In the classic, yes. An antique, no.
Well, okay. Some others are junkers, waiting around to be driven for the winter. You know, winter beater type cars, that type of thing.
Are you allowed to do that in your area?
As long as they have license plates on them.
Is that right? Okay.
So, we've got these cars back here in storage, and I had a group of guys, they're about 13, 14, 15 years old, and they came to the door and asked about buying the Impala. And I said it was not for sale. That next night, we had a problem with them taking out batteries and turning them over and letting the battery X out.
These are the kids.
These are the kids.
Do we know where these kids live?
Well, they're in the subdivision. A lot of it's rental property, and I have a hard time. I don't have any names. We've had broken windows. Last Sunday, they were riding dirt bikes on our property. And I went back and I said, listen, guys, I don't understand the problem. I said, this is posted, it's private property, and I'm going to start calling the cops. I did file a police report after the battery incident, and the police seemed to feel that, you know, this is pretty minor stuff, and they would probably spend a lot more time chasing down these people than, you know, what it would be worth.
Well, this is not exactly an axe murder, I'll give you that.
Right.
Or give them that, but go ahead.
So I'm getting all kinds of different advice from my uncles that own the cars. Their opinion is if you let them play with the little stuff that doesn't matter, you know, they won't come after the house. My husband works second shift, and I'm home alone till 3 in the morning. So I'm not exactly crazy about all this activity in the backyard.
Well, for me, you see, you live in a suburb, I take it.
Uh-huh.
And how big a burb?
Pretty big.
How big? Population?
I couldn't even tell you. It's part of Grand Rapids. It's huge.
Well, no, wait a minute. Now, it's not so. Is it Grand Rapids or is it a suburb?
It's a mile south of the Grand Rapids border, but there's a lot of residents here.
How many people in town?
I honestly don't know.
Well, that's something you ought to know.
Okay.
I mean that sincerely. You ought to know a little bit more about your community. Your point being, and tell you, do you know anything about the township government? Is it a township or a city or what?
City. The city of Kentwood.
All right. I asked you how big it is. You don't know. You know who your councilman is?
No, I do know the mayor.
Well, then go talk to the mayor.
Okay.
So we got a problem here, Mayor. We got a problem with kids. I don't want to see kids busted. You have children of your own?
No.
Okay, well, you say I like kids. But on the other side of that, I don't want them on my property, and I certainly don't want them vandalizing my property. Now, I realize that your police department has bigger fish to fry. But you must have a juvenile department, and I got to believe that these kids, at least some of them, have had problems with juvenile before.
Okay.
I want somebody to have a chat with them. Because if we don't have what's going to happen is one of my uncles will have to come over here and beat up on one of these kids. Then we're going to have an ugly incident. It's going to be in the newspapers, and who needs that?
Okay.
All we want to do is respect our property rights.
Now, what about, some people have told me, well, find out who the kids are and go talk to the parents.
So that's why I asked you if you knew who they were.
Well, I can't identify them yet, but I mean, if I did some research and you know.
Well, sure, I'd go talk to the parents.
Okay.
I mean, if the parents are worth their salt, they'll whip the bejeebers out of these kids. They're not, and here I go, child abuse. Yep, you bet your life. 13-year-old, 14-year-old boys deserve to get licked when they pull this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I licked mine, and I think they turned out pretty good human beings. But there are those, I never laid a hand on my child. Yeah, it shows, lady. That's why you have footprints on your face. I don't think kids should be allowed to get away with this. It's in the kid's best interest not to allow them to get away with it, because they get away with this. It's one step. Somebody's got to stop them someplace. I can understand that. I was probably more mischievous, and that's a lovely charitable term in my case. At 13, these kids love a bit. But that is not the issue. The issue is that they're doing clearly what they shouldn't be doing. They're trespassing. They're riding a dirt bike on private property, and they're ticked off because you wouldn't sell them the car. Well, none of that's excusable in my view. Yes, if you can reach the parents, fine. You can't talk to the mayor and say, Mayor, look, I understand this is not a big deal. To me, it's a big deal. You're a lot quicker to solve it than have a conflict with it.
Yeah. I guess the only problem the only reason I hesitate is every time we've talked to the kids and told them to stay off, we've had some kind of act of retribution right afterwards.
That's precisely why I would have a chat with their parents.
To start going after the bigger fish.
Oh, yeah. You say, there's so many things you can say, and I can't say them on the radio. I'm serious. You know, they have houses, too. I wish you well.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Bruce Williams. Stick around. Child abuse, you're damn right. I wouldn't put up with that for my kid for an instant. And I wouldn't put up with yours either. This is Talknet. New York City, New York, it's your turn. Thanks for your patience.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's happening, guys?
Okay, I'm a graduate student, and with that, I live with two roommates. Now, recently, one of them who didn't have the rent had to move. That was just a given.
Didn't have the rent, huh?
Didn't have the rent, so he had to move. But before he moved, he just picked out a number in the phone book and reversed charges to the tune of like $400 to this woman's number that has the same last name as he does. Now, the woman...
Well, hold on. Not reverse charges.
Well, he just charged...
Yeah, he charged... Was it called a third-party charge?
Yeah. He did like $400 and change of all of that from this number.
Oh, he did it from your house?
Oh, yeah. Well, this woman called me and says that she's reversing the charges back to my number.
Well, you say that may well be, but I'm not going to pay. And then, look, you sympathize with her. You don't get smart with her.
Yeah, well, you know,
she's been stolen from.
I mean, if I were in her situation, I would have done it myself.
Clearly.
My question is, do I have to pay this? I mean, it's though it was made from this phone. I mean,
well, that gets troublesome. You see, if you just made the calls from your phone, dial them up, punch them out. The fact that he had legal access to your phone, I believe, makes you responsible. But this has a little bit of a different twist to it. The fact that he clearly committed fraud and chose someone with his name, I would just turn the thing over to the telephone company and say fraud has been committed here. That obviously the fact that they were made from this number, they weren't charged this number, and it's obvious what's happened here. And do you know who this cat is?
I know who he is, and the thing of it is, he's from Germany, and all of the, you know, a lot of the calls were to Germany. Well, a couple of them are his mother's phone number. Is he in this jurisdiction now? No, he's in Colorado somewhere.
Well, the phone company has long arms, no pun intended.
Okay.
I would talk to them, told me I would talk to their fraud division because clearly you had no hand in this.
Okay.
What a rascal.
It's just been a situation that's mind-boggling. But like I said, you know, being a graduate student, I don't have $400 to pay a phone bill.
Even if your name was J. Paul Trump, I mean, there's no reason to pay it. It's not your obligation.
Really.
Good luck, kid.
Thank you so very much.
All righty, I'm Bruce Williams. Stick around. This is Talknet. The City of Angels, Los Angeles. Hello there.
Bruce, how are you?
I am
always
well.
respected your opinion and enjoyed your show, and I thank you for taking my call.
Well, thank you, Tiger. What's up?
I have a situation with a vacation home that I purchased several years ago. The previous owner had done some unpermitted modifications and expansions to the home, and I find out now that it encroaches the adjacent property.
Boy,
to the tune of about 12 inches.
Did you not have a survey taken when you bought it?
I did, but as it turns out, the adjacent property owner and different property owner had done the survey for me, and he only shot 2 of the property lines for me. This one I didn't believe was in question at the time. I was concerned about some others.
Well, you see, you should always have a property survey.
The whole thing should have been
and not by a neighbor, but by a licensed surveyor. Or have the survey certified to you.
Very true. But now I'm dealing with a mess because I didn't have this done. I'm not really dealing with a mess because what's happened is the property that it encroaches, I found out now because I've had a completed survey done. I don't believe that the property owner, it's an empty lot, is aware that the cabin encroaches upon his property.
Yeah, but when he goes to sell it, he's going to know.
It's for sale.
Well, when he goes to sell it,
prompted the call.
If the other guy is smarter than you are and has his property surveyed, it couldn't be sold.
Okay.
It can't be sold with an encroachment.
Okay. Now, what I'm kind of faced with is I've heard about a thing called a prescriptive easement.
Adverse possession or something. I think how long has this happened?
I would guess about 9 years.
I doubt seriously that's long enough.
Really?
Let's ask. I doubt it very seriously. Now,
what I'm faced with is I don't know whether I should pursue this through my attorney as an offensive position, or should I just let sleeping dogs lie? Because obviously nobody's coming to me to say to move this thing.
What do you mean? Not yet, they're not.
Right.
I would, but here's the problem. I don't think you should do either of the things you described.
Okay.
Let's start with a premise. You're wrong.
Oh, I know that.
Okay, that's the premise. All right. There's no point in coming at them with your talent shown because you're going to lose. In my opinion, you're going to lose.
Should I approach?
Hold on. I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
Your approach is going to depend on circumstance to some extent here.
Okay. One more piece of information before you...
Go ahead.
It's the part of my building that encroaches is only a deck. So we're not looking at the significant... Still there?
Yeah, okay. We go around the corner. We'll pick it up, okay? I'm Bruce Williams. This is Talknet. I'm chatting with a gentleman in Los Angeles. He's got a vacation home. Unhappily, the property was not surveyed properly. When he purchased it, found out he's got an encroachment. The former owner built a deck and stuck it on the wrong property. That's about the size of it, right?
Correct.
All right. Now, I'm glad you added the deck thing.
Yeah.
Because the push came to shove, you get your saw out and you could fix the easement.
Yep.
And
Still encroaches the setback.
that was my next. Haha, you anticipated me. What is the side or rear yard requirement here that's been violated?
5 feet. 5 feet.
So you take 6 foot off the deck.
Yep. Which is almost the entire deck.
All right. Now, how big is the lot next door?
One other curveball, I'm glad you asked that question, is that I wouldn't not anticipate that the desirable building location of the next door lot is not near my property. It's going to be further towards the other side yard.
That wasn't the reason for my question.
Okay.
How big is the lot next door?
The lot next door is 110 feet deep and probably 80 feet wide.
What does the minimum lot size? What are the dimensions required in the zone?
I believe it's 55 feet wide and 75 feet deep.
All right, so it's
kind of an irregular shape.
Well, without regard to the zoning isn't irregular.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I want to know. See, what I'm trying to get to is if you could get him to subdivide off 10 feet, would he still have a regular conforming lot remaining?
Oh, most certainly.
Well, why don't you? That would be probably your easiest answer.
Okay, now do you think I should go to the present owner who's now trying to sell the property, or should I wait until it's brought to my attention?
Oh, absolutely not. Go to the present owner now.
Really?
Sure. You say, look, how much do you want for the whole lot?
80,000, I believe.
Wow. Is it worth that kind of dough?
He approached me. He came to the first time I ever met this guy was when he was going to list it. He came to me and said, hey, I'm going to sell the property next door. I'm going to go down to a real estate office right now. I said, wow, great. I'd like to buy it. He said, well, I'll take $60,000 for it. And I wasn't about to pay $60,000 for dirt. It wouldn't be something I'd be interested in getting involved in to the tune of $60,000.
I got news for you. I wouldn't even bother. Take down the deck.
Just take down the deck.
Well, here's the thing. You're telling me that if the lot is worth, pick your number, the low number, 60, and you want to buy 10% of it, right? Down to or 8%.
Could I, if I was going to approach it, couldn't I just buy 1 foot of it?
No, because you still wouldn't meet the side yard requirements.
Okay, you're right.
Right?
So I'd have to get a minimum.
A minimum of 6 feet.
Right.
6 by whatever the depth is.
Yeah, it's just a tiny corner.
Well, that isn't the issue.
Yeah.
Maybe you could chop off less, but what I'm saying is that it would seem to me that he's going to want a ton of money for that. So you can ask him, how much would you first of all, before you ask the question, you got to sit down with a plat.
Yeah.
And figure out how much of his property you got to chop off or spin off, subdivide off to make your lot legal. Right?
All right.
Then you got to kind of take a look and see what does this do to the value of his property, if anything.
Okay.
And if you see what the impact is, I guess that's probably the better word to use.
Uh-huh.
And then you talk to him about it.
And I might be looking at like a $6,000 debt.
You might be, very possibly. I don't know. It may be that it's a totally useless piece of a little corner that means nothing, and he may part with it for a few $1,000. Figures, well, this takes care of my legals when I sell the rest of it. Who's going to care? And of course, you'll have to pay the legals in the subdivision.
Sure. One other curveball to throw into the whole thing.
You keep throwing curves at me here.
Well, that's why I'm calling for advice.
What now?
We've got 5 other lots, and this one adjacent to us and ourselves, which are all on deeded easements with a private drive. Right, presently it's a dirt road.
Yeah.
There are 2 properties, ours is one, that are developed and 4 empty lots on this private drive. I wanted to approach the other property owners about possibly paving this because of some snow considerations.
No way in the world. Why would they go for that?
Right. But what I was going to say is maybe we could work a swap. I'll put in the driveway, no cost to them, make their lot that much more saleable than it would.
What's the driveway going to cost?
About $11,000. But I could probably split that with one other developed property owner.
Yeah. In return for
getting this parcel of land so that it makes my deck legal.
What are these other people going to do to help get that deck for you, that property? There's only one guy owns it.
Right. The other I can understand the people that have the empty lots that are never there. They're not going to be too interested unless they have immediate plans to sell.
What I'm trying to get to is, No, what I'm trying to get to is what can they do to help you get this piece of property you need?
I don't think they could do anything.
Well, that's right. So we're only talking about the guy next door.
Right.
They get
he has the most to gain, though, because he's the only one that's selling.
But they get a free ride.
Yeah. So if I, even if I put the driveway in and he says he refuses to pay for it, he still gets a free ride.
That's right.
Yeah. You think I got to approach him now? I just can't let sleeping dogs fly and wait to see what happens.
I have an attorney that would like to comment on this. Now, it would seem to me, if it were me, before I talk to the attorney, then I'm going to have to put you on hold so you can listen. But it would seem to me that I would try to negotiate this deal out. But let's see what our attorney friend has to say. Hello there.
Hi, Bruce. Am I in the air?
You are, certainly, Counselor.
Hi. I've been waiting a long time. I'm glad I think I can finally contribute to you.
Oh, aren't you sweet?
I'm in Princeton, New Jersey.
You're a neighbor of mine, you rascal.
Oh, that's right. You're from the other side of the state.
I'm not the other side of the state. I'm the other side of the street.
New Brunswick?
Well, a little closer than that, but go ahead.
Okay. Very personal situation, in the area. There was a land application for the house adjacent to my parents' home, actually. It was found out that the deck that had been built on the house was built illegally without a permit, and we thought it did not have the setback requirements required by law, and it turns out, after a survey was done, that it's approximately 6 inches on their property.
Boy, sounds like the same place, doesn't it?
Same exact place. It had been there for approximately 4 to 5 years, but a high fence was blocking it from being seen that it didn't meet the setback requirements. So what has happened is several lawsuits were ensued.
Who initiated the lawsuit?
My parents and the surrounding property owners initiated the lawsuit.
To prints after 4 days. You got a bad mix.
No, where it really showed is where, like, when I back up to hitch my boat on my truck to my boat, and I had to pivot my tires to line the ball up with the trailer.
Yeah.
You can
dug a hole.
see the tire track in the
Absolutely. There's no cure for that, by the way. None.
Great.
You got to take it up and do it again.
I called the guy up, and he told me he had had problems with some of the other stuff, and he'd come over for no charge, and he said he'd restrike it and seal it for me, no charge.
No way.
So, needless to say, he did 2 or 3 times. He never showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally, we wrote him a certified letter and threatened him sort of with small claims court.
Bodily harm?
No, not that yet, anyhow.
Yeah.
But we,
How much did this job cost you?
cost me $650.
Well, it was a relatively modest job, man.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It was one of the lower quotes, and I guess maybe I learned a lesson there.
Well, I don't know if that's the case or not, but I'll tell you what. Let me make certain I'm not getting over my head, but I'm 99% confident I know what I'm talking about. But let's see if we can find an asphalt guy out there, okay? I want you to hang on a minute. Hold, please. I'm HOLD. I could be mistaken, and I'm willing to listen. But if you're an asphaltic concrete expert, you put the stuff down, you got that Barber green or whatever. It's my contention that if you put asphalt down for 4 days and it still tracks, you got a bad mix, and there's nothing you can do about that. You may be able to put a top coat on it. I don't know. Perhaps you could put an overlay, a couple of inch overlay on there, and it would be good enough for base. But it clearly is not just laying a seal coat on it is not going to do it, at least as I see it. But maybe I'm wrong. What can we do? The number is 212-245-6040. 212. That's easy. 212. It works either way. 245-6040. If you're in the asphalt business or you have experience in that area, confirm what I said, deny what I said, expand on what I said. I really appreciate it. I'm Bruce Williams. This is Talknet. All righty. We've got a Detroit asphalt contractor. Hello there.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi. Am I right, wrong, or indifferent?
You're kind of indifferent. It's kind of a gray area.
Okay. We got 96-hour-old asphalt that's still soft. Not a hot weather.
Okay. A lot of times what these smaller companies do, they're at the mercy of the asphalt plant.
Oh, clearly.
They buy it from a commercial plant.
Absolutely.
The contractor may have no recourse to that plant.
That's his problem, isn't it?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but we're talking about the guy's got a driveway out there. Well, it's my contention that you probably have to take it up, or you might be able to put a couple of inches of overlay. It may satisfy for a base. I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking you.
depending on how soft it is.
Yeah, could you, if it wasn't real soft, you could put it,
You could put a recap on.
put an overlay, about a 2-inch overlay, right?
Even an inch, if they've already got 2 or 3 inches down there now, you could get away with an inch.
But there's no way
sometimes that'll harden up too after a longer period of time.
Yeah, but why should you be expected not to use your stuff for a long period of time? He's tracking it already.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've had it happen to me. We've had to rip it out and put a whole new one in.
Absolutely so.
So I would tend to go after the guy that did it, but again, like the gentleman said, he's not really returning his calls. So.
Well, but you may have to sue him.
Yeah, he'll either have to sue him or he's out of luck.
You see, the first thing the guy recommended, he said he'd come back and put a seal coat on. That ain't
do absolutely no good.
So that would be my contention as well, but I wanted an expert like yourself to confirm that. Yeah, you get a bad mix, you get a bad mix.
That's true.
It happens from time to time.
It does, and I'm sure it wasn't anything intentional on the contractor's part.
Clearly not. I never inferred or implied that was the case. But I do think it's his responsibility because he's the guy that selected the asphalt plant and he's the guy that did the job.
That's true.
Just like the same thing if you put a concrete driveway in, a bituminous concrete driveway in. You get a bad mix. You bought it down at Joe's Concrete Works, but the homeowner didn't buy the stuff you did.
He's responsible for it.
You got it.
All right.
I do wish you well, my friend.
Thanks, Bruce.
Well, Grand Raps, it looks like we have a consensus there, huh?
Yeah, it was good to hear that. Something that he didn't bring up is this guy used the term restrike. I'm not sure what it means. Maybe that meant put an inch or two down more and then seal over top of that.
Well, you wouldn't have to seal it. You just put it down. Put it down with your machine.
Yeah.
And if the stuff underneath is stabilized enough to take it, that may do the job. But in any case, if he doesn't answer your call, see you in small claims court.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. And as far as you and I can tell, I know I've got a valid excuse to take him there.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, now what would stop the same thing from happening again?
Well, the thing is that the likelihood is, I mean, obviously neither of us are on site, okay?
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you see that the stuff comes from an asphalt plant.
Sure.
And you get a bad mix. Somebody down there just doesn't put the mix together properly. And in some cases, it never hardens. Or it constantly will allow moisture or oil, it'll separate. I remember a stretch of road when I was involved in politics in my community, a piece of road that we owned, that every time it rained, that thing became as slick as a greased pig because the asphalt was constantly, it was a bad mix, about 25 feet, and it was giving off oil every time it rained.
Sure.
And we finally just had to rip the whole 25 feet out completely. Had, 2 or 3 trucks turn over, They'd skid on it, and when they hit the good stuff, they flip right over. And so we just finally had to rip it out. There was just no way to correct it. It happens from time to time, just as if you're using bituminous concrete, as opposed to the asphaltic concrete. You get a bad mix, too much sand, not enough water, who knows what.
And there's no real way I could tell if,
well, yes.
I mean, this guy's probably going to put new stuff down. It'd be a lot less time and effort for him.
Absolutely. Oh, sure. You just put a skin on there in no time. I do wish you well, my friend.
Okay, thanks for your time, Bruce.
I'm Bruce Williams. Stick around. We give you what we hope is the very best of conversation radio. We call it Talknet. North Olmsted, Ohio. It's your turn. Hello there.
Hiya, Bruce. Hi, long-time listener.
Yes, sir.
I'm reaching way out into left field for this. Maybe you can help me. Almost 25 years ago, I had a 7-inch reel-to-reel recording of my dad, who was a ragtime piano player, popular note in this Cleveland area. The fellow, I brought it into...
This is reel-to-reel tape.
Reel-to-reel tape. I purchased some electronic equipment at the time from a small one-shop electronic store at the time. An audio technician working there, a young man in his late 20s, said to me that he could dub this copy for me, and I requested 2 additional copies. At that time, it was difficult to do unless you had special equipment. He said he could do this in his home. Well, about 2 months later, I went back to him, and he said, you know something? I remember doing the dubbing, and I can't find the tapes at all. Numbers of years had passed. I had talked to him frequently on the telephone, all trying to induce him to find my tape. My dad passed away 7 years ago, and there were some 40-odd ragtime piano numbers on this tape. It's extremely valuable to me and my family and the loved ones about my dad. And I don't know how to induce this person. I've talked to him.
You really think he still has it?
Well, that's why I said to the girl, it was nice of you to listen to my phone call. About 5 years ago, I went in and saw him. Now, today, he is the corporate president of the 5-outlet store. It's a much bigger division today in the local area. So I talked to him at the time, and yes, he very vaguely this or that, but he never got back to me. I left my name and number. But I don't think I'm important in this juncture, and I know I'm reaching way out in left field. But if, at any rate, if it's possible, he said it's in his home library. Now, I don't know how big a home library is, but there are 3 tapes sitting there with a unique style of piano that even if he accidentally found them with a name on, he'd say, gee, this belongs to this guy. It's been after these for numbers of years. What do I write this off, Bruce, or can I compose a letter, or it's way out in left field.
Well, I don't know if it's left field. I think it's certainly a long shot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But I'll tell you what. Maybe he just might at least take my phone call.
Oh, God, that would be beautiful.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you'll give Stacy in there, the junior sex kitten of Talknet, I'm picking on her because she's had a couple of bad days, so she's got to take my picking on right. Smile when I say that, Stace. She smiled. In any case, you talk to Stace, give her the information, the guy's name, the firm name, where I can reach him. I will try and, I want you to keep a record here and give me a record. I'll try and give him a call tomorrow during the day, and maybe we can find some way, to say on the air what a nice guy he is. A guy that runs a chain like this can't be half bad if he can come up with the material. Let's see what happens. To be continued. She's still a sex kitten. Anyway, Medfield, Mass. Hello there.
Hi, Bruce.
Hello.
Thanks for taking my call.
You're very welcome. Molly Yard is probably mad at me right now. Go ahead. She's the head of Now. You know who she is, now, you know?
No.
No, isn't she the head of Now?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I bought my first house in June, and I hired an attorney to review the purchase and sale agreement.
that sounds cool.
Well, I asked him how much the charge for that was going to be, and he told me that it would not be more than $100.
Boy, that's cheap. Did he go to the closing with you?
No, it was just what I asked him was to review the purchase and sale.
Well,
So, it sounded like a good price to me, too, so I hired him.
But I'm not sure you asked him the right thing, but that's something about it.
Maybe, but he also, I was a first-time buyer, and he knew that.
What does that got to do with it?
I guess that I didn't really know the right questions to ask.
You see, I think you asked him to do what you did, and that's okay.
Okay.
I would have expected more of him than just that. That was the point I was trying to raise. But okay, so you did, and what happened?
Well, he did whatever, performed his services, and when I got the bill from him, it was for $450. And when I called him to ask him about it and to say that he had told me that it would be not more than $100, he didn't dispute the fact that he had told me it would be not more than $100, and what he said is, I did more for you than just review your purchase and sale agreement.
That's very possible,
right.
and he should have.
But he never told me that at this point it was more and that it was going to cost me more.
Exactly. He should have told you before he proceeded to do the work.
Right. And on top of that, he was charging me an hourly rate, which I guess is standard for attorneys, but during that time, part of the time was for office visits when I was there, and he was doing things like making copies and typing things.
And he was typing?
Right, because his secretary had messed something up. And I don't want to pay him an attorney's rate for him to do typing and things that
Clearly.
his secretary should have done.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right in that regard. I would I don't know what he did for you. He should have been at the closing with you for openers, and for $4,500 he should have been there.
Okay, he didn't do that.
Well, I think I want an itemized statement from him. And even there, I think he may have done the work, and I'd say, gee, I appreciate the work. It was done gratuitously. I didn't ask you to do that. I didn't contract for it, and therefore, why should I pay you?
Right. So I've paid him the $100, but he's still sending me bills saying I own the balance. And
I'd go in and talk to him and say, look, counselor, this was our deal. I appreciate the work, but I never asked to have it performed. I'm Bruce Williams. This is Talknet. We go now to Miami, Florida. The snowbirds are starting to arrive, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. How you doing, Bruce?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
That's good. I own a two-bedroom house that we couldn't sell when we bought our new house, so we put it on the market for rental. And what ended up happening is my wife came back the other day when we went by to collect the October rent. Actually, no, excuse me. She said she got a call when she finally called the tenants. They said that they had woken up that morning or a couple of mornings before, and the area around the air conditioner was soaking wet.
Well, what happened probably was the air conditioner got clogged up.
Possibly.
No, I don't think it's just water, right?
Yeah, that's what they
said. It's a window air conditioner.
No, it's central air.
Well, where's the air conditioner? The air conditioner's outside then.
No, the unit itself, the air conditioner compressor and all, I think, is outside, but there's a unit inside where the thermostat is and the machine and everything else in a closet.
What machine?
Well, it's two parts to the air conditioning unit. Okay, there is a
yeah, the blower and stuff. It's I see. You don't have a cellar. You have a slab.
Yeah, they don't. You dig down a half a foot down.
Okay,
here.
you got water. I understand.
Okay,
so I know what you're talking. The unit that's the interior unit that has the blower that forces the air through the system.
Right. Okay, and so they called in somebody to clean the rug because it was soaking wet and all, and they called an air conditioning guy who came in and supposedly fixed it and presented them with a bill that they paid for $500.
Wow, they didn't call you?
They didn't call us. Now, the lease that we have is a lease that I basically drew up, but before I started using it, because I had a friend in real estate and he gave me all the good things, I passed it through the attorney who helped us on the close of the house that we bought in place of it, and he says, look, the lease is as good as anything that'll stand up in court. He says, there's nothing in this lease that breaks Florida law, but it's only as good as what ends up happening when you're in court.
Indeed.
One of the things we had in the lease is that since this is an independent home, as opposed to an apartment building type thing, when we lived in an independent home, we were responsible for minor repairs.
Minor repairs is not air conditioning.
I understand, but so what we did is rather than that is we put a deductible in there where for anything that's got to be repaired, the tenant is responsible for the first $250. Unless it's through their own neglect and
they went for that,
and they signed it.
I'm not sure that your attorney said that would hold up.
Okay. Well, the whole point is between my wife and I, we have friends and relatives who are in the air conditioning business.
Yeah.
We could have gotten a friend of ours, actually a relative of my wife, out there who obviously would have fixed it and wouldn't have charged us $500.
Yeah, but the point is, did you tell that to your tenant?
No, we haven't said anything to you.
No, I'm talking about beforehand.
We went through the lease.
No, wait a minute. Did you say to your tenant, if any repairs are to be done, you're to call me?
The lease states that.
No, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Really isn't. I think your attorney will agree to that. Sure, you sign a lease. But your lease is atypical for a tenant for a home. Not for a business, but for a home. I think you'd be required to spell that out and tell them that I want you to call me, here's the number, here's what you're doing to these circumstances.
Well, I honestly don't know whether we spelled out that should there be a problem, we want you to call us. But we've been renting this place out now for 5 years.
Yeah.
And we have had problems with the air conditioner where we had to replace the compressor, we had to replace... Okay, but every single time that there's been a problem, the tenant, not this tenant, but the 4 tenants we've had...
They called you.
They pick up the phone and call.
Well, the average person would, but maybe these people felt that they were acting responsibly. You see, if it's not spelled out, you got a big gray area there.
Okay, and the thing is when they did call us, and they said they tried calling, okay, they left a message on the answering machine.
And did you respond?
The message was, this is John Peterson, your tenant.
Yeah.
Please give us a call.
Well, that's reasonable. Did you call him?
And we did, and that's when we found out. We got back, but it was nothing on the machine that says, hey, look at the air conditioner.
What difference does it make? What difference does it make?
Well, if they had said,
would you have called them? Would you have called them more quickly?
I don't know how quickly my wife called them, but we would have been there. Yeah.
No, I don't. Well, then I'm even more on the tenant side.
Well, we're talking. Understand as well. We're talking about that. This happened. Today is Wednesday.
Yeah.
We were informed about this, I believe, yesterday. That it occurred on Monday.
I don't agree with that. But the point is, if you would have responded more quickly, then I'm on their side. I think you should respond instantly. There's a tenant. Call me. as contrasted with here's a tenant, I got a broken pipe, call me.
Well, but when you say more quickly, we're talking about we responded within the day that we got the
That's
message.
not quick to me. That isn't very quick to me. When I call somebody, I don't want to wait a day.
You call somebody at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at their home when they're at work.
But that's your business. You see, you have a business, my friend. You're in business now. Your business is, I know you want to hear this, but I'm a landlord too. I don't like it either. But I'm in the landlord business, and so are you. No, they first of all, they ought to be able to call you at work. You say, well,
They can. They got my work number.
Okay. I mean, you see, these are all nuances, but it just occurs to me that when you go into the landlord business, and you're in it now, and so am I, you got to spell out every single detail.
Well,
under this condition, you do this. Under that condition, you do the next thing. Under the next condition, you do something else. You didn't spell it all out. You may have in the fine print of a lease.
In the lease, it is, and
I understand that, but
we went through the lease line by line.
I'm truly not trying to be argumentative. I think you're going to lose this one.
Even going through the lease line by, you see, what I'm looking to do is basically split it with them.
Yeah,
I'm willing to lay out 250.
Well, you said the lease calls for that.
Yeah, but most of the time when we've had repairs there, we haven't even charged them the
That isn't the issue. You said the lease says you pay 2.5, I pay 2.5. You're covered there. So split it with them.
You know, and that's what I'm willing to do. Well, the problem is they gave us 1 month security. Right. Now they're in the middle of their 1 year lease.
Right.
I have a feeling what they're going to do is they're going to subtract the $500 from this month's rent.
Well, you don't have to let them get away with that.
What I want to do is, rather than what I'm trying to figure, is it worth fighting, or is it just when the end of the lease comes up?
I can't answer that because I don't know how hard tenants are to find. If tenants are hard to find, it's not worth fighting. If tenants are a snap, in other words, what I'm getting at is if you're in a soft area where there's 10 empty houses for everyone that's rented, you got to eat and swallow. If, on the other hand, there are people standing in line to rent houses, you can be hard-nosed.
Because what I was thinking is just when it came time to giving them back their security deposit, take the $250 from that.
No, that's not the time to do it. Is face it now, in my opinion. That's personal opinion.
Okay, but in other words, what you're saying, just to clarify something for future situations.
What I do with my people is I got a guy they call who's on call 24 hours.
So will we.
And I pay him for it.
Well, we are, because I got a beeper, and they've got my beeper number.
Well,
and they didn't beep us.
Well, in that case, I think they were deficient. If
they didn't beep me, because in my actual business, I'm in the insurance business. I have a beeper.
In that case, I think they were deficient. I don't have any quarrel with that. But I think that should be carefully spelled out. Here is the emergency number. Here's the emergency code. You say code 6 or something, you'll hear from me within 20 minutes or half hour. But at this point, I try to negotiate my way out of the thing. I do wish you well, kid. I'm Bruce Williams for Talknet. We go now to Springfield, Virginia. It's your turn. Hello there.
Hi, Bruce. How are you?
I am well, thank you, sweetheart. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm going to get married, so I went out shopping for my ring to help my boyfriend.
Hold it. I know this is a brave new world, but run that. You went shopping for the ring?
He doesn't like to shop, so I wanted to help him.
You went out and bought your own ring?
Well, I didn't mean to buy it, but I did.
With your money or his, I'm afraid to ask.
Well, that's not the problem.
Tell the truth. Your money, too?
Well, yeah, the situation demanded it. And that's...
It is a strange new world. Go ahead. I'm not ready for all this. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was helping him look for diamonds, and I went to a store, and they quoted me a price. And I went out, and I looked around some more. And I decided I wanted that ring, so I came back to look at it a second time. And when I came back the second time, they told me the price was no good.
What does that mean?
They said that the price the woman gave me originally was not right. That she had no authority to give me that price.
I take it that price was less than the current price.
Yeah, it was only a difference of about $250.
Only?
Yeah.
How much did she quote you?
She quoted me $950.
And now they want $1,200.
Right.
All right.
So, and while I was there, the man insulted me by asking me if I had asked the man to marry me yet also.
Why didn't you just walk out?
So I did.
Good.
So I left the store, but after I got home, I was mad about it, and I knew I wouldn't be happy unless I got some names and at least filed a complaint.
Well, who are you going to file a complaint with?
I was going to call their main office or write a letter, customer service, anything. So I went back the next night to file a complaint. This is the third time the in the store, and the original woman was there, and I said, "Is this price still good?" And she said, "Yes, it is." And I said, "Okay, I want it."
$9.50.
Yeah. So I pulled out my charge card, and I paid for it right then and there. So she wrote everything up, and the thing that they had to do with it was break it out of a mount, break it out of a setting, and reset it in a cheaper setting. So she had to, put it in a special order and send it out. So the next day at work, I get a phone call from the store, and they said, "We can't honor this. This is not a."
Yes, it is, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. You can keep your earthquakes to yourself, thank you.
We're trying to. I got a question for you. Okay, I'm joining the service of the Marine Corps.
Congratulations. When are you going in?
I'm going December 3rd.
All right.
And I'm a little nervous about it.
Oh, what's to be nervous about? Getting pushed around, catch your hair cut off, sleeping in a strange place? Nothing. It's an experience, my friend.
Yes, it is, what I heard. Okay, now I'm curious now with the GI Bill. Okay, I'm going in partly for the education.
Well, it's a little different than it once was. I believe it's a contributory thing, and certainly your recruiter is the guy to talk to about this, but you put in so much, they put in so much is the way it works, I believe.
Right, for the first year, I put in $100 each paycheck, and they match with 10.8. Okay, now that's after your first 4 years as you go towards civilian life, right? Now they have a program called the Tuition Assistance Program. Have you heard of that?
That's while you're in the military.
That's while you're in the military.
Sure.
Now, what's your opinion on these programs?
Take advantage of every one you possibly can.
Now, do you think that's a good way to start a career?
What did I get through saying? Take advantage of every one you can.
Now, a lot of people come out after 4 years and they go out and get a civilian job with what they were trained in the military. Now, if I like the 4 years, I'm thinking about just making it a career.
Well, that's fine. I think, how old are you?
21, just average 21-year-old.
Okay. Well, nobody, I don't know what the average 21-year-old is, but I would suggest to you, you might consider just taking it one step at a time. I don't know if this is a career for you, and you don't know. I don't think anybody can tell you that.
It's just too hard out here to make it on your own.
Oh, that's a lot of nonsense. I don't hear that story. Please, no, I'll be sorry. My goodness, son, you got the world in front of you. Now, you're walking around now with a couple of strikes against you because clearly you don't have an education. Right?
A high school diploma.
Well, that's nothing. That's nothing.
I want to get I want to get a...
Okay, I'm not criticizing. I'm just telling you the facts of life. If you are academically capable of getting a degree, you should get one. Everyone isn't. There's nothing wrong with going to trade school and learning a craft, but you've got to get some kind of skill to compete in today's world. Those are the hard facts.
Okay, really?
Now, the military is a good place to grow up a little bit. I like to think I did a little growing when I was in the service.
Yeah, I didn't graduate top of my class. It's just,
Neither did I.
Neither
did I.
Student. I'm not very academic. So I want to get a degree really bad, but I'm afraid that I'm not smart enough.
Well, first of all, let's not worry. If you're not capable, that's all right. It's not a disgrace. There are many other things you can do with your life. What I'm trying to explain to you is that we're trying to make a decision for the rest of your life right now is impossible. It really is.
I think I'm going too fast.
Well, or too slowly. I don't know which, but it doesn't matter. Get through basic. Now, if you're considering a craft, try to get yourself into a career. Right now, you kind of choose before you go in what you're going to be in. Is that not true?
Right. I've got my guarantee already.
Well, what did you choose?
Motor transport.
Oh, that's okay. I think I might have chose something else, but that's okay.
That's what I could get, put that way.
What do you mean that's what you could get?
Well, you know what the ASVAB test is, right?
These are the qualification tests.
Correct.
Yeah.
And, they have line scores and all that. What you do so good, what your best line score is what, if I would have done a whole lot higher, I could have got aviation or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got one of the a little below average.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay. That's fine, and go for it.
That was my best choice. I like it.
Okay, well, what I'm saying to you is take advantage of everything that you can learn. You'll find in your life, nothing is a waste. Now, you have to take my word for that. Secondly, anytime there's a program that'll send you off to school where they're going to help pay for it, take advantage of it. Now, your buddy's going to say, come on, don't be a jerk. We can go out and we can get drunk. We can get this, we can get that. And you can. I was there. But if you invest your time wisely and take advantage of the programs and learn as much as you're able, you'll be a much smarter young guy than some of your buddies who come out
who have, they've had some real great experiences, and their libido has stood the test of time, but you'll be better off.
I want to be a proud Marine.
That's a fact. Well, you can be a proud Marine, but you can also be a proud guy. There are a lot of guys who are proud Marines and macho and the rest of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Bruce,
which I don't think much of, but I must tell you. No, I think a spirit of corps, that sort of thing is great, okay? What I'm saying is that a lot of guys and gals are just horsing around with their lives. And what I'm saying, you have an opportunity to learn, that's all. I mean, you're 21, you said, right?
Correct.
I already had 3 years in when I was your age.
What service were you in?
That's true, I was Air Force. But I was just 19 when I went in.
A fly, right?
No, I learned to fly afterwards. No, but the point being that I think if nothing else, I think it helped me mature, grow up. But I think it'll help you grow up.
I hope so.
But take advantage, that's all I can tell you.
Bruce, I want to thank you a lot. I wish you were on the radio more often. And when are you coming to the Bay Area?
Whenever they invite me. KMBR has never asked me to come out.
Oh.
I would be delighted if they'd invite me.
Maybe I'll give them a call for you.
There you go.
I'm another nobody, too.
I appreciate that. Listen, good luck in the Corps.
I'll give you a call for boot camp.
You got a deal. Where are you going to boot camp?
NCRD, or San Diego.
San Diego? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, they leave San Diego and they have Paris Island, too, right?
Right. Well, if you get recruited on the west of the Mississippi, you go to San Diego. If you get recruited on the east, you go to Paris Island.
Very well. Either way, it'll be an experience, my friend.
I'll give you a call for boot camp.
You got a deal. I'm Bruce Williams. Stick around. Well, that is an experience, and it's an adventure. I've been trying to get Sheila to enlist for years. This is Talknet. Silver Lake, Kansas, it's your turn. Hello there.
Thanks a lot, Bruce, for taking my call.
You're most welcome. What's happening?
Okay, we bought a house last June, and we had a VA loan, but the bank lender accidentally had an FHA appraisal done on the home.
By mistake, huh?
Right.
He probably had
But when he did the mistake, he had part of the problems on the house, he had a structural engineer required to look at the home before purchase.
Well, wait a minute. Let's back up again. You understand why there's a VA or an FHA inspection?
To make sure the house is approved for the loan.
But it's not to make sure the house is in good condition.
Right.
No, you understand that?
Right.
It's only to see that the house meets the standards so they can guarantee the loan. There's a big difference. If the heating system blows up the next day, it's not their responsibility. It's only to see that the house meets the standards that guaranteeing agency asks for. So many closets, back porches in such condition and so forth. Your turn.
Okay, well,
it's not like hiring a guy like I recommend to come out and inspect the home. It's not a substitute for that.
Okay, well, when the bank lender got the FHA appraisal, and then he found out about the mistake, and he changed the VA, which was an as-is condition.
Right.
I asked the bank lender if I could see the FHA appraisal report.
You're not allowed to see that ordinarily.
Okay, well, that's why I was trying to find out if I could see it. Yeah. And he said that he didn't want to disclose it until after we closed on the home because it may be a problem.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I was just wondering if...
Look, you have to understand. What's your first name?
Larry.
Larry, here's the way it works. When you buy a piece of property, such as you did, what you should have done was hired an inspector for about $150 to come out and look the home over. They crawl around, they look for dry rot, and they look at the plumbing and the heating system and the roof and whatever, right?
Right.
The VA or FHA is a different proposition altogether. They are coming out simply to determine whether or not that house is good collateral for the loans. Theoretically, if something goes wrong, can the VA or FHA, or whatever the guaranteeing agency is, get their money out of it? That's it. It is not to supplant or in any way be interchangeable with the kind of inspection that I just described to you that you pay for out of your own money. Ordinarily, the lenders will not let you see this any more than they will let you see the appraisal that you paid for as to the value of the house.
Okay, well, see, we did get a roof inspection done on the place, but we found out later that person used to work for the real estate company that we bought the house.
Lovely. What did you pay for a roof inspection?
It was $35.
Why did you have the roof and not the rest of the building inspected?
Well, see, in the roof inspection report, he had stated...
No, I want to ask you, I'll get to that in a minute. Why did you have just the roof? Why not the whole building inspected?
Well, we had everything inspected, but we had like a roof inspector, electrical, plumbing.
What will that cost you?
Well, that all added up to about $150.
They should have one guy do the whole thing.
Right. Well, I know that now. But,
okay. So what happened with the roof?
Well, the roof, we basically got a $50,000 estimate.
Hold it, $50,000 to get it fixed?
Right.
Did you have this before or after you bought the house?
What's that, the roof inspection?
Yeah.
We had it before.
And you still bought the place?
Well, no. The roof inspector said that there was no problem with the house.
What was the $50,000 you just mentioned?
That was the estimate we got after we bought the home.
To do what?
But basically, the person who built the house built it improperly.
Yeah.
But I found out outside the city limits of Topeka, you don't have to have a building inspector inspect the house.
Yeah.
So I guess basically you build the house any way you want it. And the person we bought it from was the person who built the home.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get to is, you paid somebody $35 to inspect the roof.
Right, as an expert.
And he said the roof is fine. Or did he? What did he say?
He said the roof is fine.
All right, you gave that in writing?
Right.
And then you turn around, you're telling me somebody else, after you bought the place, told you, how much you pay for this house?
$79.
And it's going to cost $50,000 to fix the roof?
Well, basically, I take everything from the ceiling up off.
Why?
Because we live in a berm home, and they have to take off everything, and the heating duct work, and electrical, and all that.
Why? Why?
Because it's built of 2x4s, and it's not properly spaced.
Well, I have to believe, Larry, it'd be a heck of a lot cheaper to shore it up. I don't. That's a poor choice of terms, but to reinforce it, than it would be to rip it apart.
Right. Well, that's what we're probably going to try to do if we have to, but that's just one estimate we got.
Well, yeah, but you wouldn't just tear the top of the roof off. What you do is you go in, if you had to, and lay 2x4s or 2x6s right in there next to the existing stuff to give you the strength that you need.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's not $50,000, Larry, please.
Well, I mean, that's what it was that's one estimate that we...
Well, he's talking about ripping the whole place apart, which is not realistic.
Right. But we had a structural engineer, too, come out here recently, and he said it probably costs about $15,000 to do like what you were saying.
Yeah, well, it's a heck of a far cry from 50, isn't it?
Right. Well, I mean, that's what we were first going by, though.
Did you have an attorney represent you when you bought this?
We didn't when we bought the house.
Well, that wasn't very smart, Larry, was it?
I always hear you say that, but I always kept saying, well, it won't happen to me.
You heard me say get an attorney, right?
Right.
And you still didn't pay attention.
Well, we went to one attorney by another place, and there didn't seem to be... I mean, the attorney just basically told me to get, inspectors.
Let me ask you a question, though. You're serious, Larry. This is maybe for somebody who's listening, huh? Do you have insurance on your car?
Yes, I do.
What for? You didn't have an accident today, did you?
No.
You wasted your money, didn't you?
I know.
Same thing. Same thing. You hope nothing goes wrong. But
I figure if you buy a house from somebody who was in construction...
Wrong again. There's so much more to it than that. But the fact is, now, the guy that you have to go after in all likelihood, maybe the builder, but very likely the guy who did the roof inspection. You hired him as an expert. Hopefully you hired a right guy that has an insurance policy that covers him for errors. But by all means, get yourself a lawyer and learn from the experience, kid. I do wish you well. I'm Bruce Wiggins. I'm puzzled, though. This is Talknet.
Austin, Salt Lake City, Richmond. You're part of the Talknet party line.
Off we go to St. Joe. That's Euphonious. Hello there. St. Joseph, Missouri. Hello.
Hi.
Or is it Michigan?
Joe, Michigan. Hi, Bruce. How are you?
I am very well, thank you.
I've called you before, and you really helped me out, and now I really, really need you.
Really, huh? What's happening, my dear?
Well, I got a call today from the bank that holds our mortgage, and we're past due.
How past?
We're 15 days, well, our payment is due on the 1st, and we have to the 15th to pay it.
Sure.
As of the 15th, we missed this payment.
Okay, so you're only a couple days late right now.
With our payment of $500, which is our normal payment.
How about last month? That was on
Last month I was short $21, plus late charges.
How'd that happen, $21?
Because I was budgeting my money. I was $250 a week for 2 weeks instead of making a one lump sum of $500.
So they charge you interest in it.
Right. Well, our house payment's $521, and I didn't come up with the $21.
Boy, you're really working close, huh, baby?
Yeah, from paycheck to paycheck.
I hear you.
And so she called today, the lady from the bank, and wanted to know when somebody could come out and inspect the house.
For what?
they're talking foreclosure.
Oh, for pity's sake. For 2 months? Not be ridiculous.
And I said, well, how soon are you talking? And she said, we'd like to send someone out yet this week. So the guy's coming tomorrow to inspect the inside and outside of our house.
That's ridiculous. They are not going to foreclose for $21 and one payment late. It's not going to happen. Not this quick. Now, have you gone down and talked to him a little bit about your problem?
I tried talking to him. I called him. I made the first move. When I knew I was going to be late, I called him and said, I can afford to pay $250 a week, until I get caught up. And then and I did that. I made my $250 for 2 weeks. And my husband came down with a bad case of pneumonia. And so he's still out of work. And we're doing what you always say not to do. We're living from paycheck to paycheck.
Well, sometimes, listen, things, they say there's a bad word happens, right? Would you like to hang around? We go on the corner?
I would.
Okay, baby, I'm Bruce Wiggins. This is Talknet. All righty. We go now back to St. Joseph, Michigan. I have a lady who I really think is getting whipsawed a little bit. She's done the right things. She's a little behind in her payments. Hey, that's happening all over the country. She went to the bank, explained to them, tried to make a deal. She's now $521 behind, and they want to start inspecting their house for foreclosure. Is that about the size of it?
Yeah, that's about it.
All right. Now, tomorrow morning, what I want you to do, you're working, right, baby?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So I want you to do is go down to the bank.
Okay.
I want you to talk to a senior officer, and senior officer only.
Okay.
Now, you tell them that you and I had this conversation on the air.
Okay.
All right? I know, and they know, that they don't want to foreclose on your house because the real estate market is lousy right now.
That's right.
The last thing they need is another foreclosure. And you say to them, look, I want to work with you guys, and you don't need another foreclosure. But on the other hand, I need a little relief on account of because my husband is ill, and I'm really trying. And it seems absurd that because I'm 17 days late plus $21, they're talking about coming out and inspecting my house for a foreclosure. I'm willing to work with you, but what I'm going to have is some kind of relief. It may be interest only for a while. Now, the advantage to them is clear. Even though it's interest only, it keeps you as an active, up-to-date loan if they change the terms.
Okay.
You see?
Uh-huh.
Now, if they don't want to do that for you, what I want you to do is say, okay, but I'd like to have your name and your rank and your phone number and that kind of stuff. I'd also like to know who the CEO is, the chairman of that bank, right?
It wouldn't be difficult.
All right.
One of my relatives works for him.
Okay, well, you get that information, and then I'm going to put you on hold. And then I'm going to have Stacy take your telephone number and give you a phone number you can call. And if these guys don't want to cooperate, tomorrow I will, no, I can't do it till next week. Matter of fact, I'm going to be in Michigan on Friday. Yes, I am. I'm going to be in Michigan Friday evening. And let me put the lady back on. Where is it? Here we go. St. Joseph. How far are you from Detroit?
All the way across the state. All the way across the
that takes
state.
care. I'll say you and your husband come over and we could talk on Friday night. Because I'm going to be in that area at Dearborn on Friday.
Aren't you going to be at the Fairlane Mall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that, and I said to my husband, he's going to be at Fairlane.
Is that far from you guys?
Yeah, it is. It's about 3.5 hours.
Well, that's a little too far to come, because I'd be glad to sit down and maybe I can help you out. But
well, I have one other quick question. I heard you telling a lady once on how to whittle down payments and budget your money, and I caught the tail end of it. Something about you write down what you owe the most on and try and pay that off first. Did I understand that correct?
Say that again?
I caught the tail end of a conversation a couple months ago. A lady was trying to get her monthly bills down, and you were saying...
what I probably said to her was that you take the things that have the highest interest,
okay,
and you get rid of those first.
Okay. Yeah, because we've got to do something here.
Well, you said your husband's ill, and you're not employed?
No, but I've been looking.
Okay. All right, you do what I've described. If you can't work it out, get all that information about the people who say no and so forth, and your loan number, get all that to Stace, and I will call them for you on Monday or Tuesday. Fair enough?
Thank you so much, Bruce.
You're very welcome, honey. I understand bankers like that. I really don't. And I have some interest in banking. But you're better off to keep an active loan, somebody who's trying in active status. They're not going to make any money foreclosing. It costs a fortune to foreclose, and the chances are they wouldn't get their money out of the loan. So if there's a banker out there who wants to explain the rationale, I'd be delighted to listen to 212-245-6040. 212-245-6040. If you want to defend that position, I'd like to talk to you. I'm Bruce Wiggins. This is Talknet. Alrighty, we have a banker. What line was that on, Stace?
on line B from Orlando. Hello there.
And an auctioneer, and I deal with a lot of banks. And in my opinion, I really don't think there's any reason for alarm. I would say that probably the reason for the inspection would have to do more with whether there's being laying waste to the property.
Oh, you can't foreclose in a month or two. We both know that. But it just seems to me that if I were involved in that bank, I would be talking to people to try to find a way we can keep you in positive status rather than saying, if you don't get the money down here tomorrow, we're going to do this and that. That accomplishes nothing in today's world.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's a lack of communication going on there with the lender.
Well, it's just dumb on the lender's part, because the last thing the lender needs is another repo.
That's right.
Every bank in the country has got bad real estate loans.
That's right.
And the smart bankers, the guys who are going to preserve the industry, are working with the customers who, if the customer's in good faith, they're breaking their back to work with a customer to restructure the loan, to go interest only, anything they can do to keep that loan on the good side of the ledger. I mean, let's face it, look what they're doing to foreign nations. This is wrong, in my opinion. They loan them the money to pay the interest to keep the loan current. On the other hand, but they'll do that for a foreign third world nation, but they'll screw an American who's trying to keep up, and things are a little tough in this country. I want someone to justify that.
Yeah, I totally agree. But did she ask why the inspection? What was the inspection for? Because the only thing that I can figure is that I work with a lot of lenders, and all they want to do is make sure that the property is still in pretty functional and somewhat maintained, and that they're not laying waste.
Well, I want you to hold on. I'm going to ask you that question, all right?
Okay.
You hold on, because I put this gentleman on hold, and I'll pick up St. Joe. Why did they ask you?
Guys liked it.
The guys liked it.
Maybe you could cut a deal with the VFW as fundraisers for the VFW. You'd supply them and they would sell them, or the VFW, the American Legion, other patriotic organizations, or maybe let's meet.
American Legion wouldn't touch them because they make their own stuff.
All right.
And but
there's a DAV. There's a whole bunch of veterans organizations out there.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's the kind of thing that you're going to be that you're going to be able to handle getting into the more traditional ways. But the non-traditional fundraising type of thing, very possibly.
Well, I'm not so much interested in the profit, although I'm sure there would be some if it was on a national level. But I'm more interested in being able to raise money for a national lobby.
Well, you could put part of the money to that.
Mm-hmm. Would I do that?
What do you want a national lobby to what?
Raise the price to take the money out, or would I leave it up to the consumer to do that, or the national company?
You'd have to. You included in your price when you wholesaled the things off. Would have to be whatever portion of that monies that would go toward that activity had to be packaged in there. I'm curious about something now. Why do you want to do that? I think that the tie clasp is ideal. I have no problem with that. You might want to send me one. I'd like to take a look at it.
I'd love to.
But I really
address.
Well, just to your local radio station.
Okay.
They'll send them out to me. But I really find it interesting that this whole. I guess it would be fair to say that I am somewhat conservative. All right? But I really think that monkeying with the Constitution over an issue such as this is a tragedy.
Well, I do too, to some extent. My biggest concern is that I see this country going down the tubes. I think we've become liberalized to the point where we've gone socialist and taken away the very foundation of the country, which was free enterprise to begin with.
Well, I might share your opinion about some of the things we do with regard to free enterprise, but that's another issue for perhaps another day. But what I'm getting at is that I don't think the Constitution. Well, you mentioned there are 26 amendments to the Constitution. It took 200 years to do that. I just think that this business of every time something comes up, well, we're going to amend the Constitution, is not the appropriate activity. I think that's something that should be done with a great deal of care and a great deal of forethought. And as I said, I'm a contradiction here. You see, if I saw this scumbag doing what he was doing, I might be personally go out and pop him in the nose, which would be absolutely wrong.
I can't see why a person can't be charged with inciting to riot.
But without regard to that.
I know that's the way I feel.
Without regard to that. The fact is that I might very likely lay one on him. But on the other side of that, I would still... the other part of me says, well, I don't want to see laws passed. You see, I don't think burning a piece of cloth is going to change my attitude toward this country, and I think my credentials as a chauvinistic 102% flag waver are established. All right, but I think if I were charged with making that decision on the court, I would have had to side with the majority. I wouldn't have liked the guy very much. But
are you saying I should make some more pens up that say First Amendment on the bottom of them?
There you go. Now you're a capitalist, man. Definitely a capitalist now. Go for it. Either way, go for it.
Well, I sure appreciate your show, and thank you for your time, and I'll get off so somebody else can talk.
But I really think that the way to handle something like this is part of an organizational fundraising effort.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good luck, my friend.
Appreciate it. Bye.
Yeah. And these are all tough decisions, and I'm not sure there's any. Well, I am certain there are no absolutes. There are no absolutes. Let me see. Fargo. Yeah, there you go. Oh, you want to take a break? You know, working for an organization like this is rather like being married. It's true. I mean, Sheila one day was going to make someone an excellent wife because she has learned to henpeck and to pick on people. Here I'm just having a good time talking on the radio, and she is just in there just flowing. You got to do what I tell you or else. This is rehearsal for marriage, I got a feeling. I'm Bruce Williams. This is Talknet. All righty, with a clean blackboard, we go to Fargo. Hello there.
Hello there.
Hi.
Pleasure to speak with you, Bruce.
Well, thank you. We had a very pleasant visit in Fargo about 3 weeks ago.
I missed you. I knew you were coming, and I had prior engagement. Would have been lovely.
You rascal, you.
Maybe the next time.
There you go.
We have a question, a problem with some land. Mm-hmm. And the question, I'm a little bit nervous. It's the first time I've spoken with you.
Just take a deep breath, not to worry.
Okay. Are you familiar with what artesian wells are?
Yeah. Yes, I think I know what an artesian well is.
Okay. Well, you realize that they have to flow all the time then because they're pressurized? Did you know? And
go ahead. They're naturally pressured. This is what a spring is an artesian well that's come out of the ground, right?
Somewhat, yeah. Only they're loaded with minerals. And the reason I asked you that...
Well, not necessarily.
Pardon?
Not necessarily.
But they are in our area.
Well, but that's true. But an artesian well does not necessarily load it with minerals.
Oh, now that's interesting because I didn't even know what artesian wells were till 15 or 20 years ago.
It's a place where the water is naturally forced out of the ground. Isn't that what it comes down to?
That's what it comes down to. And we have some farmland, which we actively farm ourselves. Mm-hmm. And the neighbor farmstead has an artesian well located on it. Mm-hmm. And this artesian well's overflow is piped through our land, about 3/4 of a mile long.
To where?
To a drainage ditch.
Oh, just to get rid of it, you mean?
Yeah, just to get rid of it. It's just the overflow. But the problem is that over the years, it's about a 20-year-old line, and over the years, the gophers and stuff have eaten holes in it.
Sure. The gophers,
an interesting problem.
The gophers have eaten holes in it.
Yeah. Last fall, I was driving a grain truck out of the field, and I was coming out of an approach, and I literally dropped up to the axle.
Those rascal gophers will get you every time.
Did you have anybody else call in with this problem?
Oh, every day. I mean, we had... Sheila, when was the last call we had about the gophers eating the artesian well line? Was that yesterday or the day before? Day before, I think Sheila says. Sheila's looking totally perplexed in there.
Well, you're following me, I think, aren't you?
I'm with you 100%.
Okay, the problem is...
Gophers never prosper. Go ahead.
No, they don't. That's true, especially in our area. The problem is that the homestead where this well is located is now an estate.
Mm-hmm. Let's get serious. The reason the gophers eat the line is during the times of a little bit of drought, they hear the water.
I suppose, and we've been in a severe drought for 3 years and 5 years.
And they're going for the water inside the pipe.
I'm sure that's the problem.
Okay, so now the property is in an estate hands, and
the problem is that 9 months ago, when I fell through, we realized that there's a problem that needs to be corrected.
How big a pipe is this, by the way?
It's about an inch inside. And it's also on a county road, and the pipe is buried on the county right-of-way, but this original owner of the homestead put the pipe in.
Mm-hmm. But it's just a transit pipe, right?
Yeah.
It's black pipe.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
What would you suggest we do? We've spoken with... 9 months ago, when we knew that there was a problem, we spoke with the owner's son, and he said he was going to take care of it. Well, of course, he dug it up and left it. and never finished the job. Well, today my husband was back there, and we realized, of course, that there's a lot more wrong. This whole 3/4-mile strip needs to be replaced.
That's a lot of money, too.
Yes, it is. And we're wondering, what would you do in our shoes?
Well, I don't know. It just seems that there's no use for this water, you're telling me.
Well, the problem is that there are minerals in this water, and we've already had, one time we had this overflow on our farmland, and we've lost acreage due to it.
Is that right?
It doesn't produce. Once it is covered with artesian water.
It's that heavily mineralized.
It's that heavily mineralized. We have probably...
What, a sulfur?
Yes. Or they call it alkali ground out here.
Okay, I understand. Well, there are a couple of possibilities here. The line is on your property.
Is it on our property or is it on the county right-of-way? That's a question that we have, too, that we're not sure about.
Well, that's something that a survey would determine.
Okay.
If it's on your property, it would seem to me you have a right to interrupt it. Just put a plug in it. It's not going to...
But then, if we plug it, now, if we've discussed this possibility, too, if we plug it, what happens is it overflows on the farmyard, then it overflows onto our farmland.
Then there's going to be a pond back there eventually.
Eventually, and it'll ruin our land. It overflows. The pond becomes big enough.
That would be considered a natural waterway, too.
If it goes by right-of-way. That's interesting.
Well, sure it would. If it's coming out of the ground naturally,
yes,
and it flows through a swale from property to property, that would be considered a natural waterway. And the likelihood is you wouldn't have the right to upset that. Just as if you have a stream on your property, in most areas, you're not allowed to change the course of the stream without all manner of permits and whatever.
That's correct, because everything has to be permitted.
By flow. Would you hold on a second so I can catch up my responsibilities and we'll see what we can do here. I'm Bruce Williams. This is Talknet. I'm chatting with a lady in Fargo, North Dakota. Essentially, you got a problem that for years was being piped away. There's a natural spring or artesian well, and I guess it was capped in some way. Was it the natural pressure taking it down the pipe, or was there a pump of some kind?
Okay, this is a drilled well, so it's not a natural. This is my husband and I were discussing this while you were on break. It's not. It's been drilled down and it was put in by man. It's not.
Well, why was it put there?
For their use, because they use it for their household and the.
And this is the overflow?
Yes. Artesian wells in our area,
there's so much aquastatic pressure. You're telling me that once you open that up, it's just there's nothing you can do about it but let it run all the time.
That's correct.
I mean, it could be capped.
Can they be capped?
Well, yes, I think it can be, but you're talking about a lot of money.
But now, who would be if we?
But I don't think
our question is, could we force that?
That I don't know. That's a legal question. I don't know the answer to that.
And that we have to consult our lawyers on.
Absolutely. And as far as the maintenance of this line, 4,000 feet of pipe is going to run you certainly installed $6,000-7,000. Now, are they willing to spend that kind of money?
And who's actually responsible for it?
I would think they are.
That's what we're trying to get at here, too. And it is in the county right-of-way of the road.
Well, that way the county may have some responsibility here, too.
And we don't even know if the county knows it's there at this point.
And the problem there is if you bring it to their attention, they're liable to say, look, take it out.
And then we could be back to having it running back over on our land or forcing a capping.
Exactly. Or putting up a heck of a dam so the water didn't come onto your property and you may or may not get away with that.
And that's fairly unrealistic in the locale that it's located.
Indeed.
What would you do in our shoes?
I think I'd go talk to the owners of the property and say, you've created the problem. What can you do to solve it?
We've done it. We don't get very far. But now that it's in a state, would it be correct?
You'll have to deal with the executor. And, of course, they could put a retention pond into some kind. They could build a pond. That's what retention ponds are all about. And then during periods of drought or hot weather, it evaporates off. They created the problem. It looks like to me the responsibility is theirs. I'm Bruce Williams for Talknet. Union Lake, Michigan. Your turn. Hello there.
Yes. Hello, Bruce.
Hi.
Pleasure talking to you.
Well, thank you.
I have a situation with a real estate purchase. We made an offer to purchase a condominium in Montana at a ski resort. The offer was accepted. We applied for financing and thought everything was rolling along wonderfully. Spoke to the bank on different occasions, the real estate on different occasions.
Everything's cooking, yeah?
Everything's going well. Yesterday, I got a call from the real estate agent, and he said the buyer has changed their mind. They don't want to sell.
All right. They don't want to. The buyer has changed their mind.
I'm sorry. The seller has changed their mind. They don't want to sell.
All right.
I'm the buyer.
Yeah, that's what. Okay. You're out to confuse me. Go ahead.
I'm trying not to. I'm a little uptight about it.
I can understand
in
that.
In any case,
well, you got a contract, right?
That's what I said.
Was it written and signed?
Yes.
And money is and some earnest money has changed hands?
$1,000.
All right. What does your attorney say to all this?
Well, I spoke to my attorney. Well, first of all, I spoke to my attorney today.
All right.
Spoke to the broker yesterday. My contact had not been with the broker. My contact had been primarily with just the agent.
Yeah,
only with the agent.
Really doesn't matter.
Spoke to the broker and had asked him to, if it would okay if I called the seller direct.
Yeah.
And he said, well, let me call first.
All right.
I contacted my attorney, explained the situation, and he said, well, you could sue for a specific performance.
Yeah.
You could sue for damages.
Yeah.
You could get your earnest money back.
Oh, I hope you get your earnest money back.
Plus expenses, which the broker said he would give.
Yeah.
You know, the money that I would lose to the bank because I will lose some.
Yes, I understand. Application fees.
He would cover that.
All right.
Right? The
I understand.
commitment fee and mortgage.
Well, why is let's back up a little bit. Or do you know the answer to this? Why does the guy have buyer's remorse or seller's remorse? I got a feeling he's probably getting more money from somebody else.
Well, I think that's it.
Particularly when the real estate guy is so anxious to say, well, I'll pick up a few expenses here.
Well, I did speak to the buyer, or seller, rather.
And what did he say?
She.
Well, anyway, let's not drag it on. What did he say?
He said, I'm tired of the hassle. She said, because I spoke to the wife.
Right.
She said, I'm tired of the hassle. I've got real estate agents pushing me into things. She thought, this is interesting, she thought, because some other real estate company told her, that I was a friend of this broker and that I was buying it surreptitiously on his behalf.
Oh, boy.
And I said, I've never spoke to the man. I've dealt only with his salesman.
So, but why is she trying to back out?
Get right to the point. We'd like to buy it direct from her. She says, I want to sell it.
Then why
I
is
just
she...
don't want to sell it through this broker.
Well, that's tough bananas on her. That's too bad. She signed an agreement, did she not? She signed a listing agreement.
That's right.
Well, that's too damn bad. She doesn't want to sign it through them. And your attorney ought to make enough nasty noises around her to make her realize she wants to sell it. All of a sudden, she has bad feelings about the broker. Nonsense. I'd squeeze her heart.
Unfortunately, we've got some ambiguous wording, according to my attorney.
Which is such as?
The sale is contingent upon obtaining suitable financing by April 20th.
And you didn't do that?
Well,
that's a yes or it's a no?
In progress.
Not that you didn't obtain it then?
It wasn't finalized.
Then she's out from under then, I would think. She's not obliged to extend that.
What is my ability to buy direct from her?
I don't think you have an ability to buy. I think the guy has earned a commission. He brought you two together. Period. That's the function of a broker, to bring a buyer and a seller together. He brought you together.
Okay.
And she's acting like a perfect ass.
You're right. But I want to buy that unit.
Then I'd go talk to her.
And I have talked to her, and she said she would deal direct with me.
Well, let her deal direct with you.
Okay.
But, I mean, the fact is, she still has to pay a commission to this guy.
That's what I'm wondering about.
Well, there's no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's earned a commission.
She's going to discuss it with her husband, and he's supposed to call me back. Now, what I'm wondering is that going to happen because of just what you said? I think she's putting herself in legal jeopardy.
Absolutely.
By trying to deal direct with me.
She can deal as direct as you want. I don't think you understand that. The day that the money changes hands, they got a commission coming. Well, I don't care if she stands in her ear and spits out nickels.
Mm-hmm.
He performed his function, brought you together. She owes a fee. Now, you want to be a nice guy, pay it. If she's willing to give you the sale less the fee, fine. Then you're going to pay what you'd agreed to pay to begin with. You pay the fee.
What would you
matter of fact, that's
I do now.
Well, matter of fact, that's a better deal for you.
If what is?
If the accounting was done in this fashion, let's assume a price of $100,000. Let's assume that. That's what you agreed to pay.
Right.
And the commission was $5,000.
Okay.
If she's agreed to pay you 90, so you're prepared to spend 100 G's. You'd be in better shape if she said, "Okay, I'll sell it to you for 95," and you paid the 5,000 to the broker.
She won't do that. She sees more money. She sees a hot market.
Well,
and I think that's it. She's saying, "Why should I pay this guy a commission?"
Because she signed a listing agreement. That's why.
Okay.
And you can go right back. Did you agree on a shave price, or was it the price that she asked?
It was the asking price.
Then you can go right back, and the thing is still listed. Then you go right back and buy it again. Start all over again. She is obliged to accept your price.
What I found out subsequently is that it was an agreement that they made, and I didn't find this out till today.
But it wasn't listed in writing?
I don't know if it was listed in writing, but whatever they had expired also on the 20th, commensurate with that other date, the financing date.
Lovely. It's not listed with anybody now?
As far as I know, it's not.
Well, in that case, you can't go back and do what I described. But if you buy it, he earned a fee. I wish you well, my friend.
Now, even if I were to buy this through another real estate company?
Doesn't matter. I don't know how many ways to say this. A broker is a broker.
Would you suggest that I try and get these parties to negotiate a lower fee?
Absolutely. You know what I would do to her? I'd say, you want to sell this, right, sweetheart? Well, you ain't going to sell it for 6 months or a year because I'm going to tie you up in litigation.
Okay.
Which you could do, and I'm sure your attorney would tell you that.
Okay.
Say, look, you want to play hardball? You want to be stupid? Go ahead. I may lose, but I'm going to tie you up. You're not going to sell this property to anybody for 6 months.
Okay.
That you could do.
I feel that the broker might be amenable to working for a lower fee.
Then fine, talk to him about that too. Negotiated fee. I don't have any problem with that.
Do you think I should participate in that?
That's up to you. I don't know how bad you want this thing. Apparently pretty bad.
Well, I do want it badly,
Well, badly enough to throw a little dough into the pot. That's another story.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to. But you can, clearly, whether you're right or whether you're wrong, you could be dead wrong. You can tie that property up for a while. And I'm sure your attorney will tell you that. Good luck, my friend.
Great, thank you.
I'm Bruce Williams. Stick around for more Talknet. Hello there, Memphis. Your turn.
Good evening, Bruce. How are you tonight?
I am well, thank you.
I've noticed listening to you through the years that you've come across more than your share of harebrained ideas, and this made you.
I've had a few of those.
I'm sure you have. No, the idea, because I know that obviously you travel more than most, and maybe an honest opinion from your end could help me. I'm considering. Of course, it's another idea, but I'm considering starting a business that would be basically a referral business for the business traveler.
For example?
Let's say that you're in St. Louis, and you're checking into the hotel. Now, in your situation, your meals and your evening's entertainment may be prearranged for you. I don't know if it is or not.
Oh, it is ordinarily programmed right down to the minute.
Okay, and I'm sure of that. But the typical business traveler may not be quite so scheduled.
Yeah.
The idea is that I have is that when you check into the hotel, that you notice by your bedside or wherever there's a little, cardboard standee or whatever that says basically for restaurant information or for lounge, for bar information, whatever. There's a number that you can call, a local number you can call, and someone would assist you as far as information concerning that type, either Greek, Chinese, if the idea had any merit to it at all. I travel some myself, and when I'm at the whatever, the Holiday or the Hampton or whatever, then there's no concierge there.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said, it's hard for me to empathize, although I have traveled in other circumstances. When I have my little dog and pony show on the road, which seems to be pretty regularly, almost every minute that I'm in the host city, I'm occupied in some fashion, or just there is a little time for breathing and changing clothing and that sort of thing.
Sure enough.
On the other side of that, I have been in hotels and, in cities over on business where I'm sitting there thinking, now what? I can't watch one more old movie.
Exactly. And of course, if you're in a town that you're really not too familiar with and you're in the mood for Chinese or for whatever, the idea that I have is, there's a number that's made readily available to you that the person who has the data bank in front of them can tell you, what part of town,
How do they get paid?
well, basically the fee would be subsidized by the participating restaurants.
Well, that's an idea. If enough people would use the service.
Well, that's the next thing, and also, and maybe a sister business or an accompaniment to that would be aimed toward the typical consumer also.
Well, see, I'm just thinking out loud now, though. You know, a lot of hotels you go into, there's a little magazine that's published all over the country.
Sure.
They publish the boilerplate, and they get their advertising, and there's a lot of local pages put in there. I think it's called Travel Host.
Possibly.
And they will have a lot of the local restaurant ads in there and places to go, and it comes out once a month or whatever, and tells you, what's on at the local theaters and all that sort of jazz.
Sure.
So there's that is sort of similar in print of what you're talking about.
But I think that obviously with the service that I'm considering would give obviously personal service that a magazine couldn't.
That's true, and it would certainly.
It would be more current, more up to date.
You could keep it as current as this afternoon, no question about that. The question is that would enough people in the hotels use it to make it worthwhile for the restaurants to sponsor it?
And there would have to be enough restaurants to support the base also.
Indeed.
I mean, you couldn't have 2 restaurants.
Not hardly.
And obviously it'd have to work, in probably some of the larger towns around the country.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically the other side of the coin is also, I was also considering instead of focusing it toward the business traveler, would be toward mom and pop, and do advertising in the local paper, and be able to maybe not necessarily take reservations at one central location, but be able to provide the same service for the typical consumer.
Yeah, you couldn't take reservations because you wouldn't know what the situation was.
Unless you were tied into their computer bank, of course.
And even there, most restaurants don't have computers for that.
True enough.
Maitre d's sitting there, with a pencil, and they look down their nose. Do you have a reservation?
Yeah.
Do you have a reservation? You could shoot a mortar in the place, and not a soul in the joint. Do you have a reservation? Well, I might be able to squeeze you in,
But I didn't know if the idea toward the typical consumer would have any merit to it.
I don't know the answer to that. I really don't know. I guess I don't think like the typical consumer. I'm sure of that.
So I called that person, and it was somebody's son, and he said that his son said he didn't do it, and that this guy had not contacted him or anything, and so it was only a dent, a little dent from a little bumper on the side.
Yeah.
So the father went and looked at the car, and he said that the dent was higher than his son's bumper, so it couldn't have been his son.
Mm-hmm. Well,
this guy, and he stopped making payments on the car.
Well, how big a dent?
It's right behind the passenger's door.
Right, so it's no big. So at least nobody's hurt. No big deal.
No, it's just parked.
All right, go ahead.
But she wanted to sell the car again because he stopped making payments, so she went and got it back herself.
She grabbed the car.
Yeah.
All right. So
and he agreed, but we had told him, if you don't, we
won't. All right. So you got the car.
But there's a dent in it, and she can't sell it for the same value. And he still owes a couple $100.
Wait a minute. How much did he pay you?
$100, and he had it for like a month and a half.
You got off cheap. How much damage is there to the car?
The back fender.
How much money dollars?
We never checked.
Well, you take the $100 you got in advance, go sell the car, and consider yourself very lucky.
Okay.
Suppose you went out and kill somebody with no insurance, or even not enough insurance.
I know he didn't pay the registration or anything.
Oh, for pity! You were really foolish to do what you did.
Yeah, we were just trying to help out a guy that moved into town.
That's terrific. Yeah, stop being such a nice guy. That was dumb. You got off easy.
Okay, I had one more question if I could.
Sure, just go sell the car and forget it. Go.
Okay, I bought an '89 Toyota 4x4.
Yeah.
I'm 19 years old, and my insurance on it is $250 a month.
Yeah.
And my payments are $319 a month.
Yeah, that's way too much money.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's any. My dad co-signed for it, so I don't want him to get the payments.
Yeah.
So is there any way I could tell them? I know I owe about $3,000 more than it's worth if I turned it in.
That's called being upside down.
Yeah.
There's
so
nothing.
I know I've tried to get them to just put it on another car, but they won't because of the difference.
What do you mean put it on another car? You can't borrow yourself to prosperity, son.
Well, I meant turn in the truck and get like the lowest price car they have and add the rest of the truck onto that, but they wouldn't do it.
No, they're not going to do that.
But I was wondering if there's any way I could just say,
no,
this is the choice, just turn it into them.
You're stuck because the problem is that your father's stuck.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Well, that's.
I've made the payment so far, but I just don't feel it's right that I pay $600 a month to a car.
But why did you get yourself into such a mess?
I don't know. immature, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good word.
I've learned my lesson, though, so.
Well, I'm afraid you're stuck with it now, fella.
Okay.
See, the problem is that if you decided yourself, I'd say, well, you could screw up your credit, but this way they're coming right after your old man, and he's got probably a decent job and some assets, right?
Yeah, I told him I would never.
Well, then be a man and honor your agreement.
All right.
I wish you well, kid. I'm Bruce Williams. Stick around for more. This is Talknet. Framingham, Massachusetts. Hello there. Welcome to Talknet.
Hi, how are you?
I am just fine, thank you.
That's good. I have maybe an interesting question.
Go ahead.
I own a condominium.
All right.
And apparently one of the owners for quite a while has not been paying his condo fees, et cetera, and owes the association a couple of $1,000s.
But how big a organization is this?
It's small. There's only 8 units.
Oh, that can be trouble.
Yeah, well, this is the biggest mistake I've ever made, so I found out fast.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, what happened is I believe they're going to be taking him to, the trustees are going to take him to court to recover the money.
Well, what they'll do is probably get a lien against the unit.
Right. I think what they believe that's going to happen is that the owner is going to default on the loan to the bank, and for whatever the trustees' reasons are, I only pick up bits and pieces here and there, I'm under the impression that they're seriously considering purchasing this unit from the bank.
Well, you see, I don't know how you can comment on that unless you have the particulars.
Well, I ran into one of the trustees the other day, and he keeps saying, well, I think we're going to own ourselves a unit. Apparently they don't have to do that, but that is an option.
No, they certainly do not. What they're trying to do is protect their $2,000.
Well, what my question is I obviously don't want anything to do with this.
And happily, if the trustees decide to do it, and that's a big and, if they have the ability to make that decision under the bylaws of your association.
Seems to be, because what I can pick out of the bylaws, that they do have the right to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But can they, who has to pay? You have to buy it from the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's $100,000 and it's split between the other 7 owners.
Well,
don't we have to?
No, I don't think they're going to make you come up with the cash if that's what you're concerned.
Well, no, but they have to mortgage it, and we have to put money down, and we have to pay the mortgage every month. Where's that money coming from?
I haven't the foggiest notion. I doubt that they can assess you.
Oh, that's my concern.
Over and above, but they may feel that this is a necessary thing. I'm confident what they'll try to do is put the condo on the market. I think what they're worried about is
they'll never sell it here, though.
Is that right?
Oh, you kidding? In Boston, it's ridiculous. Especially in Framingham, there's 10 billion condos that are sitting around empty.
Is that so?
The homes the same way. They're just sitting around empty.
Empty?
Yeah.
Nobody in them?
No, there are homes. I go, one of the ways I go to work, I go by this beautiful house, for a year. I just changed jobs a year ago, and I've been going by the same house, and it's been empty, and I've seen others empty, and we're having all kinds of problems with real estate.
The area's overbuilt, that's all.
Oh, yeah, and they keep building.
That's the part that I find difficult to understand. In the same area where you got, as you indicated, a surplus of housing,
they're still
the builders are still building, and it's hard to understand that.
So
what's even harder to understand is who's financing it.
I don't know. I guess they figure that it's, they're better off, to finish up what they've started, I suppose. But why they start new things, I don't know.
I have no idea what your condo association rules allow them to do.
Well, I've read them, and it seems pretty explicit that they do have the right to do this.
Well, what I would do is have a meeting of the condo association.
Right.
And find out what their logic is.
Okay.
Find out why they're thinking this way.
Right, because, what my question is if, all right, let's say they decide to go ahead and do it, they have to make us pay for it?
I don't know that. I don't know, because I haven't seen your condo associate. They will probably try to do it through assessment. I don't know that. You know what I think you ought to do, Sirius?
Be a lawyer.
Yeah, and have somebody read it that understands what's being said, because these rascals may be putting you in more jeopardy, or what they may be trying to do is protect they're afraid what will happen if the bank gets it. The bank will sell it to somebody who is undesirable, or they'll reduce the price so much that just reduces the value of all the condo units. I don't know what they're afraid. Talk to them and find out what they're thinking, for crying out loud.
Okay, well, that's what the problem is. It's they kind of, discuss this among themselves, and we're the only other ones there's 3 trustees and us, and we're the only ones that go to the meetings. The rest of the owners don't go, so it's kind of like there's 4 people there, and 3 of them know everything that's going around, and I'm the 4th one who knows nothing.
Well, you ought to you ought to start talking to these guys and let them, if you're interested, they ought to take you into their confidence.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I wish you well, dear.
About that. Thank you.
Take good care. Council Bluffs, Iowa. Hello.
Hello, Bruce. How are you this evening?
Okay, kid.
I was wondering if you could give me any clues on how to get off of these sales lists for these computer-generated sales calls.
Almost impossible.
You can't. I know there's an address that you can write to.
There's the Direct Mail Association in New York City.
That's to get rid of the junk mail.
And they will try to take your name off the list, but your name is passed around so regularly from so many sources, it's virtually impossible to get yourself eliminated completely.
I see. Well, I was really upset today. I've got a 7-month-old little girl that was ill, and I had just gotten her to sleep, and one of those phone calls came, and I listened very carefully to try to hear the name of the firm that was calling me, but it was kind of a garbled connection, and I couldn't.
Well, you see, they wouldn't even have a list. They would just dial up the numbers.
They don't have any kind of. They don't purchase stuff.
You don't have to have a list. You start out your number. Your exchange is 825, like our 800 number here, right? So they'll start out with 800-825. 0000. The computer dials that up. Oop, nothing happens. 0001, 0002. We're up the line.
I see. So there's really nothing anyone can do to get rid of that.
Not that I know of.
Well, I know I would like to hang that guy by his thumbs that invented that.
I am sure. Me and thee together.
Okay, thank you.
I do wish you well. I find that a bit intrusive too. And people have an unlisted telephone number, but you can't beat that because the machine just dials up. I'm Bruce Williams. I'm delighted you're here, kicking off a weekend on Talknet. Lexington, Kentucky. Hello there. Welcome to Talknet.
Hi, Bruce. How are you?
I am super, thank you.
Great. I'm really interested in finding out if I have a case at the Human Rights Commission.
Human rights?
Right. I work for this employer, and I felt that I was sexually discriminated upon and abused.
Talk to me.
In the office.
There are 2 different.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened. Okay, I'm no longer with the company. I quit. I was the only female office manager, or the only office manager, and the only female manager.
Well, okay.
Okay, and
well, if you're the only manager, you'd be the only manager, whatever gender.
No. Female manager. There were other male managers in the company.
Okay.
I had in February or January, I had been promised an increase in my job, and when it came through, it was less than what they had promised me, as much as I was getting.
Is that possible? Is it true?
Well, I don't know. I don't know because I don't have access to the information.
All right, go ahead.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, I felt that that was kind of a lame excuse. Mm-hmm. I wrote a letter to the Human Rights Commission, and I felt that...
On what basis so far?
Okay, I'll tell you what it was. Being a female, I was the least paid of all the managers, and male managers that came in after me were getting paid more than me.
Well, a moment ago I asked you what they get paid. You say you didn't know.
I don't know. I'm talking about other areas. See, it's a national company. It's a national company, but I am the only office manager in this particular market center.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, but there are other office managers.
All right, so what came of that?
Okay, nothing, because they asked me not to do it. They were going to conduct an audit of my performance. Well, they conducted an audit by somebody that was equally to me, another office manager from another area, from another part of the country.
All right.
Well, my general manager and my controller both felt that the audit that she conducted was biased and unfair. They both said that.
Against you.
Against me, right. Mm-hmm. So they were on my side.
Mm-hmm. Seems so.
Okay. Then, about 3 weeks ago, they conducted another audit, but this time it was a bona fide accountant that did the audit.
Yeah.
And he came out, and he did not find anything wrong with my performance.
Okay, let's get on to the other thing. We're running out of time here.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Anyhow,
what was the sexual
a week later, after we got that audit from the bona fide accountant, I got a warning saying that my performance wasn't any good and that I had a bad attitude. And 4 days later, I got a final warning. And they said that my attitude was bad. Well, I explained to them that part of the reason my attitude was bad was because of some of the sexually explicit pornographic material that was being handed around in the office.
Like what? And by whom?
By whom? One of the higher managers. Okay,
And handed out to whom?
Okay, handed out to one of my subordinates. A person that I was directly responsible for.
Male or female?
Female.
Did she take exception to this?
Oh, she loved it.
Well, in that case, so...
So anyway, she came to me and she showed it to me and she said, isn't this great? And I asked her, where did you get it from? And I brought it to my boss's attention and he said, don't do anything about it. He said, don't touch it because it was his boss. Okay.
What I'm getting at is that the parent. Look, I'm not. Don't put me in a position of endorsing pornography.
I agree.
But but nobody seemed to be offended here.
Oh no, I am. I was extremely offended.
Well, wait a minute. You didn't. Nobody. You stuck your nose in.
No, I did not.
You
didn't? It was brought to me.
All right. Oh, okay. I thought you said you asked her.
No, it was brought to me, and she showed me because she was boasting about what somebody gave it to her.
Okay. Well, you were offended by what this lady gave you. How is that sexual harassment?
Because
harassed by her.
No, because I asked them not to be passing out this stuff in the office.
I'm not so sure that's your purview.
Huh?
I'm not so sure that's your province.
Oh, really?
Apparently, he is higher placed than. First of all, as I said, you put me in an awkward position.
Okay.
Because I think it's stupid. Although I've seen some funny stuff kicked around here, I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
Stuff winds up on a bulletin board and so forth from time to time.
Right.
But I just don't think
Do you know what the law says about that?
What's the law say?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I don't know that there's any
there's a law that says
unless someone objects, and I don't see how you were sexually harassed unless you're indicating that.
I think the law says if they're indirectly offensive to you, you have a right to say something about it.
I'll tell you what. Maybe somebody knows better than I. When we take a little time out, 212-245-6040. Not your opinion. What's the law? I'm Bruce Williams for Talknet. Miami, Florida. You have a comment on our previous caller.
Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. Over my head in pornography here. Talk to me.
I'm an attorney in Miami.
Yeah, counselor.
And I think she might have a case.
Is that right?
There's a sexual discriminatory kind of atmosphere in the office with the pornographic material being handed out.
Why is that, counselor?
Well, they were handed out she said, by officers in the company or something.
No, she said somebody was over her.
Right.
In positioning, gave it to a female that wasn't offended at all, thought it was pretty witty.
Well, that doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter.
I'm not trying to comment. I'm just recounting what was going on. In fact, I'll put you two together. Go ahead. Lexington, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, you guys go at it.
I'm on a mobile, and I may cut out. And
okay.
What I think you should do is there's a federal agency called the EEOC. And you file a claim with them, which you have to do anyway before you can file a lawsuit.
Okay.
You have to go through the administrative procedure. They will do the investigation.
Okay.
Now, you might have a claim. I don't know.
Okay.
I certainly wouldn't say.
Let me ask you this, counselor. If she came into your office, would you take the claim on a non-contingency, on a
contingency?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know enough. But somebody might. And I might. I don't know enough.
I see. Okay, counselor.
Okay.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us.
Sure, Bruce. Bye-bye.
Yeah, the attorneys are out there, and they all got their mobile phones. Oh, I got mine, too. Anyway, Lexington, anybody else that wants to comment, Sheila? No. Okay, I don't know if we can help you any more than that.
Appreciate it.
I wish you well, dear.
Thank you.
Take good care. I find myself in awkward positions here defending what I don't believe in. That's kind of interesting. Camp Springs, not there. Where am I going?
Montgomery.
You have to tell me here, sweetheart, where I'm going.
This is...
Sheila, just talk to me in my earmuffs. Oh, hello there. Who are you and where are you?
I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Hello, Dallas. This high-tech stuff here.
Yeah. Well, Bruce, I got a question.
Go ahead.
I'm contemplating making a career change. And I want to move to Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg area.
Lovely area.
And what I want to do is I just want to quit my job in about 3-4 months and just take off and do it.
Well, are you a single guy?
Yes, I am.
How much bread you got stashed?
Well, right now I don't have any bread. Well, I'm counting my vacation. I would say $500. I don't have any money in the bank at all. I have about $2,000 free on my credit line.
The credit line is not cash.
No, it's true.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a communication specialist, which is a catch-all term for running a mailroom and doing a bunch of stuff in a corporate headquarters here in Dallas for a big defense contract.
Why 4 months? Why not 3 or 5 months? And why Tampa?
Tampa, because I like the weather. I've always been attracted to Florida. My brother's in Tampa. And
well, let's stop right there. Can you go live with your brother for a while?
Absolutely.
Well, that solves one problem, doesn't it?
Sure, yes.
You see, I think you're going to find that finding a job is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. And you ought to have a little bit of cash. And you are or are you not working now? You mentioned vacation. I'm not sure what that meant.
I am working now, yes.
I think what you ought to do is stay where you are for a little while longer. Get yourself a second, not a part-time job, a second job.
8 hours?
8 hours, 10 hours extra.
Wow.
And build up a cash supply.
How much cash we talking about?
Oh, I would think enough to keep you going for 4 or 5 months.
Well, my bills are, I add them up, I'd say $600 would cover it for the month.
All right, then that means something on the order of $3,000 to $5,000 bucks.
One question, excuse me. What is it? I understand that Florida is supposed to be booming, and you're saying I would have a difficult time.
Well, booming, I don't know. I don't know where you got that idea. Real estate's flat. There are certainly things that are going okay, but they're booming, I don't know.
Yeah, what makes you think I'd have a difficult time finding a job?
I just think that it's a fairly, there's a lot of people looking for work in Florida. A lot of people like yourself want to go there because the weather's nice.
Right.
And it's a competitive market, that's all.
Well,
and
you know.
It's a lot easier to compete if you got a few bucks in your jeans.
Absolutely.
Good luck, kid.
Thank you.
I'm Bruce Williams. Stick around for more. More Talknet. Alrighty to Stonington, Connecticut. Hello there.
Hi, my name is Kitty.
Yes, Kitty.
And I have a big problem for you. I contracted for 5 yards of screened topsoil to be delivered to my home, and then the man who does our lawn was going to spread it out and seed it and fertilize the areas that needed it. And it was delivered. The lawn man then came.
The who man?
2 different companies, okay?
The what man?
Our lawn man.
Lawn, okay.
Right. The lawn man came in the afternoon after it had been delivered by the company and spread it out and seeded it and fertilized it.
All right.
It rained Friday and Saturday. Sunday I went out to sprinkle it, and our lawn was glistening with glass.
Huh.
Some pieces up to like 3 inches by 2 inches.
3 by 2?
3 by 2, and I bought...
That's like the bottom of a big bottle.
No, it was unbelievable, and I had bought, and on the receipt it says screened topsoil. So I called the company that I had purchased the topsoil from. I paid him myself by check.
Okay.
This is 2 separate dealings. And I said, you know, we really have a huge problem here. I have not been able to get past the secretary at all. In fact, she said to me that he has indicated to her that it is not a big, what's the big problem? You know, and I said, I have several little children, and, you know.
Yeah, the problem is that you contracted to purchase screened topsoil, and you didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
That seems to me, that says it all.
It's who's going to pay for it, cleaning it up. Now, you have to remember that we do have this lawn service that comes in. It's a young kid who's putting his way through college.
Without regard to that, it's entirely possible he didn't notice it. He's not supposed. You could make the point, well, he should have. But on the other hand, I think he had a right to expect that the soil was ordered and described. He wasn't supposed to inspect it.
I guess.
He saw a sparkle or two, a little vermiculite or something in there.
It is just everywhere. I mean, I've taken pictures of it. I've taken videos of it. I got a quote from a professional lawn service area or company in the area, and they said just to remove the glass with special round rakes and personnel would be $800. And then they suggest that we put 3 inches of topsoil all over any part of the lawn that was touched, over the whole front part of the lawn, just to help cover any residual problems that we may have with splinter glass. Does that sound like overkill?
Well, I don't know, because it depends in some measure on how successful they are in getting the stuff out. They have machines. They use them on beaches. You've probably seen them. Where you can literally go along, scoop up the dirt, throw it on a screen, and throw it back down again. It'll take out stuff that's very fine.
But then I'm still left with no lawn.
Well, it's true. I think this guy has some problems, the guy that sold you this stuff. And it may well be that you'll have to solve that problem in some kind of a court setting.
I just hate to go to attorney.
Well, I'm
but,
sure.
You know.
How much? You see, we don't even know if to go to an attorney to begin with. My inclination would be the lawn is ruined. It's got to be reseeded. And, well, of course, there's no lawn now. It's just a matter of seed, which doesn't matter very much.
Well, see, this is over different parts of the lawn which were good. You know, they just put in partial areas of topsoil and reseeding.
I understand that. Well, somebody's got to go in there and dig that up and screen it.
The whole front of the lawn.
The places where the stuff is laying. I mean, if you had little fine pieces of glass, I'd say forget about it.
Well, we have that as well.
You know, I mean, I wouldn't worry about that. But how much big stuff is there?
Oh, I've collected like a big shopping bag, maybe an inch deep of big pieces of glass. And then my husband said, don't pick up any more because we're losing all our evidence that it was out on the lawn, you know? And even the little piece, if that gets in a child's foot. Yeah,
but that's going to work its way into the ground, and it's going to dull. You know, it's just, I don't think that's a major problem. Okay. I really don't, because, and look, this is just my opinion, okay?
Right.
But glass is going to dull out very quickly with the motion in the ground and so forth. I'm talking about little tiny particles now. We're not talking about big stuff. You're talking about 3x5 pieces. That's
it's big.
That's industrial strength size.
Yep.
I would talk to the guy about the repairman that says he can clean it up, and I'd call this guy and say, here's the situation. We got a hazard in our yard. Now, we're going to have it done unless you want to come out and do it. We'll give you a shot. And then we're going to bill you for it. If you don't pay us, we're going to sue you.
Take it to court. And how about how logical do you think the topsoil? Do you think
that? I don't know. I don't think you can make a determination until you see what the
problem is.
That's right.
Well, thank you for your help. It gives me just one more way of looking at it.
Good luck, hon.
Thanks an awful lot.
Hey, people just don't deliver what they say they're going to deliver, and then they get very bent out of shape when you call them up on it. Hard to believe. Norwich, New York. Hello.
How you doing there, Bruce?
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Great. I tell you, just real quick, I'm a DJ at a radio station in Norwich. I get to listen to you every night. I've got a problem here I'm hoping that you might be able to help me with, kind of a strange one or new to me. I am about 65 miles from Ithaca, New York, and I'm relocating. And I've I've been for the last 2 or 3 weeks looking for jobs and the like in the area over there. And
let's go backwards. Why are you relocating?
Because I moved here to study music theory privately with a gentleman, and our time is up, and the area I live in the town's just a bit smaller than I like. And I'm looking to get involved in a music scene in a little bigger place, and I fell in love with the town.
Okay.
So, what happened is that I got a job out there. I hadn't put any notice on my apartment or quit or give notice to the job I had yet because I didn't want to put myself in a bind with no income and no place to live.
I think that makes sense.
So what happened is that I went and I got a job. Okay? Now, what happened is right after I got the job, and I explained to the gentleman that, once that I got the job, I was going to be moving to the area as soon as possible. And basically they had given me an ultimatum that we want...
I want you to mention
time you enter into this until the time you're finished. No legal advice, but just what happens. And my background, of course, is, like I said, sales for 20 years plus in the auto business. And my wife and I, who did go through one of these ventures 3 years ago. So it was very, very informative, and we learned a tremendous amount. So what we did, Bruce, was we got the local parks and recreation people to donate the hall for the evening, and I put an ad in the local community paper, and I had 75 people show up.
Son of a gun.
Middle-aged, senior citizens, and I guess maybe for free they were interested in seeing what I had to say. Well, after the evening was over for 3 hours, and I was quite hoarse, a lot of people walked up to me and said it was very informative, and they enjoyed it, and I started asking for feedback as to, do you think you gained enough information here to be able to, venture into something like this with an attorney, of course, And they said that they felt that they walked away knowing a heck of a lot more And I said my point of doing this was to inform people and give them the side that the people who attempt to sell you and put you into a home on your property, not in a subdivision, would never tell you because they only want to tell you what they want you to hear. Well, my question, Bruce, is I'm thinking of doing this and charging a small fee.
No,
I want to know what would I be in for legally, liability-wise. Could you give me some hints on how to handle it?
Well, you got a couple of separate areas here. One, which you may have overlooked, is the physical liability. There was somebody came to that thing and broke their leg in the building.
I see.
They could hold you responsible. They wouldn't have been there unless it was you, unless they came to see you.
Yeah.
That's one kind of liability. The second would be for following your advice and getting burned. You have to be insured against that as well.
Okay. And who would you go to for these types of coverages?
I'll tell you something. The first is not hard to find. The second is extremely difficult to find, and it's very expensive.
I see.
Now, you could say, well, what is my exposure here? Well, I don't know the answer to that. That might be the trouble underwriting it. Somebody comes in and you tell them how to build a house, and they do something just like you said, and you know it cost them extra $20,000 for the house. They're liable to look to you for recovery.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean to get into blueprints and stuff.
No, I don't mean that. That's not the issue. You charge them for coming in. It's not entertainment we're talking about. They get advice on things to do and not to do when they're building a house.
Oh, and then if I erred, I'm liable.
Absolutely clear. You got it, kid.
So it's not as easy as it sounds.
Nothing as easy as it sounds anymore. Yeah. It really isn't.
So you had a gentleman there that evening that asked you that question, if you recall, should he build his own or try to subcontract it? You gave him the answer, and I said to my wife, see, there's a customer right there.
There you go.
What to do.
I remember the fellow, he was an accountant, as I recall.
That's right.
And he was going to do his own subbing, and I thought he was like walking into a buzzsaw.
Well, I was a gentleman who was fortunate enough to be able to get your attention, and I asked you the question about the boat the lady wanted to buy. You recall that one?
You were the guy that wanted somebody was buying they had made $18,000 a year and they were buying a $17,000 boat, and you said that was a good idea.
No, I said you had beat up on the lady.
Yeah.
You reaffirmed.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyway, I was a gentleman.
I remember you well. Good luck, my friend. Look, you give it a shot. You want to take the exposure, that's entirely up to you.
Okay, Bruce.
I wish you well, kid.
Thank you.
I'm Bruce Williams. Let's do it all over again real soon on Talknet. Attleboro, Massachusetts. Hello there.
Yes, hi, Bruce.
Hello.
Nice to talk to you. My name is Michelle. My husband and I are planning a 15-week tour of the United States by car.
How nice.
Yes, I think so. Leaving next April.
15 weeks?
15 weeks.
It's like 4 months.
Yes, it certainly is. My boss is just thrilled.
Where in the world are you going to go?
Oh, we're going to go everywhere. We're from Massachusetts, so we're going to head south down the East Coast and go all the way down to the Keys, and then we'll go back up the west side of Florida and do Mississippi and Texas.
In a regular old car, not a motorhome or something?
No, we're driving by car.
Okay.
And moteling it. Now, my question to you is, we probably will use our credit card for all the overnight expenses, the motels. But we would still obviously need quite a bit of cash. And I figure like $10,000. Obviously, we wouldn't want to carry $10,000, but would that be too much to carry in traveler's checks?
Well,
Is there another way to do it?
I think it would be foolish to carry it in traveler's checks because it's going to sit there totally interest-free.
Right.
Why don't you just make a deal with your bank? Your own little old bank. Back in Attleboro.
Okay.
Where you can walk into any national bank anywhere in the country, and all you do is make a phone call, and they'll transfer the money to you in a matter of hours. You'll be in town for 6 or 7 hours, they can transfer the money to that account, to that bank.
Okay, so they would just wire to the other bank?
Yes, ma'am. On your telephone authorization. They may give you a PIN number of some kind. They want to make it real fancy.
Okay, so we should leave with like a couple of thousand maybe?
I would think so, yeah. You'd be surprised that the overwhelming majority of your expenses you can put on credit cards. Think about it. You can put your meals on credit cards for the most part, certainly 90% of the time. Unless you're buying the stuff in the supermarket, making your own submarine sandwich or something, all right? You can put all of your lodging on credit cards, all of your automobile expenses on credit cards. If you're going to buy some clothes along the way, most of that can go on credit cards. Cash is a less and less important commodity.
Then we would have to obviously make payments on those credit card balances as we go along.
Well, yeah, what do you do about your mail? Is somebody going to service that at home for you?
Yes, a friend will be picking up the mail.
Well, picking it up is one thing. Are they going to open it up?
We weren't planning on having them open it up.
Well, how are you going to pay your bills for 4 months?
Well, we're going to try to prepay as much as we can.
I wouldn't do that.
No?
No.
Even like mortgage payments and things like that? It's not a good idea?
Well, why would you bother?
I don't know. I guess I thought it would be too complicated anyway.
Why? You're sitting there in a Motel 6 someplace, right? Mm-hmm. Pay your bills. You can put money in your checking account. Say once every 2 weeks, right? Have your friend Federal Express all of your mail to you. You can plan where you're going to be one night.
Is that an overnight thing, Federal Express?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. They may get it in by 6. It's there by 10:30 the next morning in most places.
Okay.
And you'll have all of your mail there. You just write your checks like you ordinarily do. Well, I mean, don't make this so complicated.
I'm trying not to, but...
But yes, you're going to have to pay your credit card bills. You can't let them go for 4 months at a pop.
So I should have her open that bill and just tell me...
No.
No?
What did I just get through saying to you? What's your first name?
Michelle.
Michelle. I mean, are you going to wear a little tag if lost, return to?
No.
No. What you're going to do, have your friend pick up the mail. Mm-hmm. Every 2 weeks, she's going to go down and she's going to get herself a FedEx envelope and pop all this stuff in there. And you're going to call her on the phone on a given night or a given afternoon and say, mail it all to the Happy Holiday Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Hold for pickup. Because that's where you have a reservation for the next night. Mm-hmm. And there's all your mail waiting for you at the Happy Holiday. And then you sit down with your little old checkbook, and you've already arranged to have money. You can transfer money from your savings account to your checking account simply by picking up a telephone or your money market account in that same bank.
Right.
And you just transfer the money into your account, write the checks like you ordinarily would.
Okay.
Same old postal system.
That sounds easy enough.
It shouldn't be any problem at all. Okay. As long as they're picking it, but you're going to have to pay the utility bills.
Right.
Your insurance premiums. Your mortgages.
I guess our plan was that we were going to pay ahead of time, but you don't think that would be a good idea?
I don't see. First of all, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about the things that you overlook by mistake?
I don't know.
This way, you get your mail like you always do. Mm-hmm. Do it once a week. For 15 weeks, it'll cost you, what, $150 to have it, or you can use express mail. There's a lot of ways it can be done, for pity's sake.
Okay. Sounds good.
If you can afford to take that kind of a jaunt, you can certainly afford to have this stuff forwarded to you every week or two.
You're right about that.
There you go.
Okay.
Have a good trip.
Nice talking to you.
It's been a joy.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
I tell you, that's one of the things we tend to do. We tend to make things overly complicated. Setting things up with telephone transfers, wire transfers. Once you put it in place, it's just a matter of making a telephone call. And anywhere in the nation, by and large, there are courier services that get there overnight. Not a big deal. I'm Bruce Williams. This is Talknet. Off we run now to Mesa, Arizona. Hello there. Thank you for your patience. Welcome.
Okay, Bruce. It's still good morning here in Mesa, Arizona.
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
Well, 15 years ago, I applied for Social Security. 1962 that was. And I got it through okay.
That's 18 years
but
ago.
They had a gap of 6 years where a company that they knew who they were, that I had worked for, never turned in any Social Security records. Now, that company sold out to a that branch of that company, I should say, X-ray branch, sold out to a foreign company in 1960. And I have pursued every avenue I can think of to try to get those records so my Social Security might be a little bit better. And I have run into a stone wall in every pursuit. And I just wondered...
is that what you're saying is that was your highest income period when you worked for them? Is that it?
My highest income?
Well, what are you concerned about? Did you pay you're saying you paid in the max in when did you work for this company? What years?
1944 to 1950. Now, Social Security said it's up to me to get this information. They cannot get it. And that's
40 years ago, I think you're out of business.
They went out of business in 19...
No, I think you're out of business.
Sir?
I think you're out of business.
1960, they went out. They sold out.
Well, I'm trying to say to you, another way. I think you're beat. Forget it.
You think so?
Yes, sir. I don't think those records exist anywhere. But what difference does it make? You worked... Hold on. Did you not work in 1950 through 1960?
No.
You didn't work during that period of time?
Well, now wait, yes, I did. I retired in 1962 and took my Social Security.
Well, why would 1940 be a fact? Did you make more money in the 50s and the 60s?
Not necessarily, no.
Either you did or you didn't. Did you make more money in from 44 to 50 or 50 to 60?
44 to 50 because I was self-employed the rest of the time mostly.
Well, that doesn't mean you could still make more money. You just didn't declare as much money as you're telling me.
Unfortunately, no.
Well, you see, you can't have it both ways. I don't think you're going to find those records 50 years later.
You don't think so?
No, sir.
Well, that was what I got from the last contact of a friend of mine made to somebody in Baltimore, and I don't know who it represented. It said, my desk is piled high. Your claim is so old that I don't think it justifies anything.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to... At 50 years later or 45 years later, I think you're out of luck. I'm sorry, but I think that's just the way it is. You may as well face it. Kansas, Alexandria, Virginia. Hello there.
Oh, Bruce?
Hi.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Bruce. Pleasure's all mine.
Well, thank you.
I had a small problem over the weekend with a motel chain.
What happened?
Or a motel. Well, I flew back to Wisconsin with my fiance, and I was going to visit my parents. So first I stopped in another town to visit my sister, and she wasn't there. She didn't know I was coming. So we decided to get a motel room because it was like 10 o'clock at night, and see her in the morning. Hopefully she'd be back. So next morning we checked out. I turned in the key, and she had already gone to the car.
Who's she?
My fiance.
Okay.
And she said, I forgot my leather jacket up, in the room. So I went back, got the key. I went up there, and there were two maids in the room. I said, well, I forgot my leather jacket. And they said, well, it's not here. So I said, well, okay. So I filled out a card. They said, just give me your name and number, and if we find it, we'll let you know.
Well, no, wait a while. There's only a very modest amount of time here. You went to the parking lot, and you went back inside.
Right. So I was thinking, well, maybe my fiance packed it, and maybe she, forgot that she had packed it. So I went back down. I told her it wasn't there. She goes, that's impossible. So I went through the car. I went through the luggage, and it wasn't there. She said it has to be in the room.
Did she have it on the night before? She's sure.
She's sure.
No possibility of error.
No possibility. We never left. It was only we were only there like 10 hours.
So, I don't mean that. Are you sure she had it on when she got there?
Yep. I remember specifically that she had it on.
All right.
Because Wisconsin's like, 30, 40 degrees at that time. And so she went up there. She said, she started telling the maid that it was here. And they go, well, it wasn't here, it wasn't here. So we called the police. They came. He went up there. He talked to them for like 10, 15 minutes. And said it wasn't here. So I decided to go to my sister's and see what happens. The manager of the place said he would look for it, along with another employee. And when I got there, I was just so frustrated that we knew it was there. I went back and I searched with him for like 2 hours, him and another employee.
Well, where did you search?
What's that?
Where would you search?
Oh, we searched garbage cans, all the floors. We searched in other rooms. He even told me that he knows that one of them took it. He goes, there was two of them. One was there for 3 days. It was like a third day on the job. And the other one was there a long time. And she had, I guess, other cases that she steals things.
The long timer.
Yeah. So, he's telling me he knows it's here.
This is the manager telling you?
Yeah, he knows. He's telling me that he knows one of them took it. He knows which one, he's almost positive. So, I'm spending 2 hours searching for this thing. And so before the policeman left, my girlfriend offered a reward of $100.
How much is this jacket worth?
It's from Egypt. It's a leather jacket. It's worth, to replace it, $300 to $400.
Okay.
And so she offered a reward of $100. I didn't want to, pay a reward for...
Well, without regard to that, what happened?
Okay. So the police left, and we looked, and we couldn't find it. And he said, well, give a call in a couple of days. The manager said this. And it'll probably turn up. Well, I went back to my sister's, and he called me back 15 minutes later and said it was here. And I'm telling my fiance, I don't want to pay a reward.
I think you should.
You think I should?
Yeah, your girl. Look, whether you like it or not, it's her jacket, and she offered a reward. No questions asked, probably.
Yeah.
Well, then are you an honorable person?
Yeah. I just, it was the people receiving the reward was an employee of the hotel.
That isn't the issue. The issue is, if you didn't want to pay a reward, you shouldn't have offered a reward.
Yeah.
But she did. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
It comes right. You must have seen advertisements from time to time, such and such a thing missing, no questions asked, right?
I mean, I was thinking,
what were you thinking?
If another, maid had overheard, that they took.
What has that got to do with anything? Yeah. Fact. You offered a reward. Fact. Thing shows up. And you didn't say, upon conviction of a thief, all you said was, if we get it back, we'll pay $100.
Okay.
Pay it.
Yeah. I was just thinking, as the head of housekeeping that's getting the money.
I don't care who gets it. That isn't the issue.
Yeah.
You didn't exclude hotel employees. Okay. Seriously, did you?
No.
Nah. You said, look at it this way. Would you rather not get it back, or would you rather pay $100 and get it back?
I'd rather pay the $100 to get it back.
Exactly so. And that's why you're getting it back in all likelihood.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I figured. The only way we're going to get back is to offer money.
Well, but then how in the world in conscience can you renege?
Yeah. Well, I just figured it was, the owner of the motel.
That isn't the issue. You offered the reward. How in conscience can you now renege?
Okay.
I don't think you can. You sound like a gentleman. Do you sell yourself that cheap?
No, I just...
End of story.
It's a little frustrating,
Sure, but you offered the reward.
Yeah.
Now you're a gentleman. You're going to have to meet your obligation, it seems to me.
Yeah. We already gave it to him. I just...
Okay. All right, but then you did the right thing, in my view.
Yeah.
Good luck, my friend.
Thank you very much, Bruce.
Okay, kid, I'm Bruce Williams. Stick around for more. You may disagree with that. It just seems to me honor is honor. This is Talknet. Off we go now to Irving, Texas. Hello there.
Bruce, it's a real pleasure to speak to you. I thoroughly enjoy your advice and your program.
Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate that.
I bought a house for my daughter and son-in-law in 1984. Bought a title policy at the time I bought it.
You bought it with?
Well, I'm glad to finally be talking to you. I have a little problem here. I was hoping you could give me some advice on.
Give him my best shot, kid. What's up?
Let's do it. Okay. Several years back, my sister and I bought a commercial building that we rent out. We went in, and it needed a lot of work, so we went in, we cleaned it, we fixed it. The building is in both of our names.
When you say commercial buildings, is it retail or factory or what?
Actually, it's zoned for retail, light manufacturing, warehousing, that type of thing.
What's it being used at? What's it being used as currently?
There's a gentleman, and they're storing expensive cars in there currently.
Huh.
So storage pretty much is what it's being. The question is, or the problem is that we bought the building, and it's in both of our names. The way the accounts and all that have been set up is that I have had my Social Security number on all of the interest-bearing accounts. I've made all the payments. I've taken in all the money, and at tax time for the last several years, I have recorded all the incomes and all the expenses on my income tax. My sister really has been more like a silent partner. So recently my wife and I were audited. Oh, I guess I should say that since then I've been married. And my wife and I were audited on some other commercial property that her and I own jointly. And everything panned out. We don't cheat, we don't hide anything. So we took our records to the government. They checked everything and said, okay, you're clear on everything except this commercial building that you own with your sister. Why isn't she claiming half? And then they said, well, I think we're going to have to audit your sister. And now we went back 3 years. We're going to have to go back 2 years and last year. And so I guess the problem I have is that they're making this tremendous mess for me, and they're putting a lot of stress on me.
Well, that's part of the system. Let me ask this of you. Do you fill out your own income tax?
I work with an accountant.
Well, then why don't you just turn to your accountant? Let him handle it. That's what he gets paid for.
Yeah, you're right. And I did, and I just didn't feel real confident.
If you're not confident, wrong accountant.
Yeah, good point. I did make some calls to the 1-800 number that the government offers for tax questions.
Yeah.
And I talked on 2 different occasions, 2 different people. I got their names. They were very polite. And they told me that, the way in which I described the matter, that there was not a problem with the way I did my bookkeeping.
And perhaps there is not. I don't know.
Well, I pointed that out to the woman doing the audit, and she just wasn't real pleased with that.
What did she say?
She says that I need to point out to her the law or statute or whatever that says that it's okay.
Well, you see, you shouldn't be doing this. What do you do for a living?
I'm a systems analyst, computer programmer.
All right. Now, do you really believe that the guy that is down at the gas station can do your job?
No.
And do you believe that you could do his job?
No.
Okay. What makes you believe that you're qualified to debate, joust with, or otherwise deal with the IRS? The answer is you're not.
Right.
That's why you have your accountant go down. If you don't feel the guy that you have hired is competent, then go hire somebody else. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be talking to these people.
You know, the amount of stress that it generates sounds just tremendous.
Shouldn't be any stress.
Maybe I feel like you're right. Maybe
there shouldn't be any stress because exactly, you're involved where you shouldn't be. That's what you have experts for. That's what you have. I mean, I've been through audits, and I don't like them. Nobody likes. If you like an audit, I'm telling you, you're the kind of guy like root canal. But do you think for a moment that I would go to an audit?
Well, the funny thing is we did, my wife.
Well, I wouldn't. But you're putting yourself in stress, and now you're complaining about it. I wouldn't go. That's what I sent him for.
Well, that was several weeks ago.
He goes.
Maybe I should get this accountant more involved.
Well, either that or get another accountant.
But wouldn't the burden of proof be on them to prove that I'm doing my accounting method or my?
Don't get me started with a burden of proof and who's responsible.
I like that term.
The point is that this is an area, in my opinion, that requires an expert. And to walk in there yourself, particularly when it's going to bother you, as it clearly has, just a major mistake. Put a little overtime in on your own job. Earn that money and pay somebody to do it for you. Believe me, he's in there dispassionate, which gives him a huge edge. I do wish you well, kid. I'm Bruce Williams. This is Talknet. Well, you guys and gals that know me know I believe in using experts each and every time. Bellingham, Washington. Hello there.
Hello, Bruce. Thank you for taking my call.
You're most welcome. What's on your mind?
I'm a grandmother, and my only grandchild will be 3 this month. Mm-hmm. And what I would like to do is to take, say $300 a year and set it aside so that he can have a college fund. Mm-hmm. But what I'm wanting to do is set it up so that he either gets it at, say, age 18 when he starts college, mm-hmm. or if he does not go to college, that he will get this money at age 21.
Too early and too young, and that's a mistake.
Is it a good idea?
No,
I
think it's a terrible idea. Not only not a good idea, bad idea. How's that? Mm-hmm. This is your son or daughter's child?
Son.
Is your son reasonably responsible?
He's 25 right now. I don't see that they will have a college fund for him.
That isn't what I asked. I had nothing to do with his college. I said, is he responsible?
Not that responsible.
How about his wife?
No.
In that case, I'd put the money in probably U.S. savings bonds in the kid's name with you as trustee.
U.S. savings bonds.
I mean, it's this minor amount of money, and you can buy it. You can buy the savings bonds in those amounts with no problem. Mm-hmm. The interest rate is competitive today, but I want you to have total control. Mm-hmm.
That makes a whole lot more sense.
Indeed. That way, if the kid goes wrong, it's your money.
Right.
It's your money. Or as a matter of fact, it's a practical matter. We're not talking $300 a year. Kid's 3 years old, 15 years, $4,500, right? Mm-hmm. Just buy savings bonds in your name. Mm-hmm. And if you want to give them to him when the time comes, you can do that without any tax penalty.
That's a whole lot better idea.
That's better. It's much cleaner. Just go out and buy U.S. savings bonds in your name. You know what they're for. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But this way, hey, the kid turns into not the best kid in the world, which could happen to the best of families. Mm-hmm. And you're under no obligation, legally, morally, or anything else, to make that money available to him.
Right.
Now, you could make some provision in your will for the money to be held in some escrow in some fashion. Mm-hmm. But I'm firmly against putting money in a position where it must go to a kid at a very early age.
Right. I wondered about that because you just don't know how they're going to turn out.
Hey, does anybody?
Yeah.
And there's an awful lot of people that have grown up, that have gone through a tough period at 18, 20, 21, turn into very solid citizens. But the last thing you want to do is put a loaded gun in their hand.
Right.
And that's what putting a lot of money in their hand is. A lot of folks, and how old are you?
I am 45.
Okay, you're a young woman. You may remember people starting uniform gift for minors accounts to avoid taxes. And they wound up where the money had to go to the kid at 18. And the kid had maybe a nose candy problem. That's a very bad scene.
It disappears just that quick.
But it may disappear up the nose and kill them.
Right.
I do wish you well, dear. I think the U.S. Savings Bonds is a good way to go. I'm Bruce Williams. This is Talknet. This is Bruce Williams reminding you Jeff Pigeon gives out the first $1 million sweepstakes number at 7:15 tomorrow morning on 1070 WIBC. Let's go now to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thank you for your patience. What's on your mind?
Hello, Bruce. I enjoy your show every chance I get.
Well, thank you very much.
I find it very helpful. Bruce, I bought a captain's bed and a matching chest.
What's a captain's bed?
Okay, it is a bunk bed with drawers underneath it.
Huh, that's what they call it, a captain's bed?
Mate's bed, yeah, drawer bed, something. You know, they all have different names, but that's what they call this.
Son of a gun, okay.
Okay, well, I put $100 down on it, and it has a contract to pay out the rest, 6 months to pay at no interest.
6 months, same as cash, huh?
6 months, same as cash, yeah. And anyway, I got it home and found that 2 of the chest drawers are pulled apart, and that one of the drawer fronts on the bed has a crack in it.
Huh.
So I called the salesman back, of course being a little irritated about it, and I'm a little nervous here.
That's okay. Just relax. We haven't lost a customer in days.
Okay. Well, they say that they'll fix it or replace it. You know, it just depends on whatever the condition warrants. But I got to work and talked to a friend, and he said that he had a problem with the same furniture company saying, you know, they said they'd fix it or replace it, but they drug out the repairs out just about the 6 months, and he said like a couple of 3 days before the 6 months was up, they finally got it fixed. So what I'm planning on doing is I don't have to make a payment on it till, you know, it's 6 months. And I want to wait to make sure that the repairs are made. And my question is if it's longer than the 6 months for the repairs to be made, you know, we're still dragging this thing out.
I wouldn't pay him.
You wouldn't pay him?
No, I would tell him in advance, though, that there's money due you guys and I want to pay you.
Right.
But I'm not going to pay you until the merchandise or the appropriate repairs have been completed to my satisfaction. So I want you on notice ahead of time so there's no misunderstanding, nobody gets bent out of shape.
Okay.
But that's the way it's going to be.
Okay, and if this, you know, this has gone through a credit check and my credit's good, perfect now, but if we got into a struggle, what's going to happen then?
Oh, I don't know. But that would not be a consideration.
That wouldn't be a consideration?
Not for me, it wouldn't.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm just considering that if I go to buy something else later on and we're still at war with this, I can just, write a letter and tell my credit group?
Indeed.
Okay.
You see, so many people are reluctant to do anything because it could injure my credit. And a lot of credit grantors use that to their advantage. You know, they beat your brains out. We'll louse up your credit, and people tremble and quake and carry on. No reason to tremble, quake, or carry on. But I let them know in advance that I'm unhappy. Do it in writing, too, not on the telephone. No record of a telephone call.
Right.
You write them and say that this is the things haven't happened and so on and so forth, and this is why I'm unhappy, and this is what I expect to happen, and this is what will happen if it doesn't happen that way.
Okay.
And of course, you keep copies of all that stuff.
Right.
And periodically drop another note, let them know, so there's no surprises for anybody.
Okay.
I do wish you well, kid.
All right, thank you very much.
But one last thing, okay?
Yes, sir.
Forget what the other guys, your buddies told you.
Right.
Take the thing, let them establish their record on their own, for you.
Right. Okay.
I do wish you well. I'm Bruce Williams. Stick around. This is Talknet. All righty, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Hello there. Welcome to my world.
Well, you're speaking to a very worried nobody.
What's the matter?
I have a terrific automobile problem.
Let us talk.
About 10 days ago, I took my car in under warranty, and the computer is guaranteed for 5 years. And they told me they'd check it out, and I could have it later that day or the next morning. And every day since then, when I call to see if the car is ready, they tell me no, it wasn't the computer. They had to put in a new canister.
What in the world's a canister?
Well, I thought it was part of my vacuum cleaner. Something in my car. And then I called the next day if it's ready, and they said no, they had the catalytic converter got hot, and so they had to replace that. Then the next day they said that it blew a seal. They took it out to road test it, and it blew a seal, and so now they have to send out the radiator because the radiator lost its coolant, and it was full of mud and stuff.
Are all these things covered under your warranty, or are they going to charge you?
None of them.
What?
None of them. No, just the part that I took it in for and signed authorization for the computer, they said was okay, but my mechanic of 20 years on that particular brand car told me that the defect was in the computer because the idling he had put forward, the timing as far as he could. And with the air conditioner on, if you stop at a stoplight, well, it would want to stall, and so he put it forward, and that was my only problem. The car never heated up, and they told me they had to send this out, and it blew 4 gaskets or seals. Well, then yesterday they told me to go pick it up, and I went there, and they said, sorry, you can't have it because we road tested it again, and now it blew the 5th one. And I said, but now you have the radiator cleaned out, so you told me it was the radiator. And my mechanic said there was nothing wrong with the radiator, and the coolant and water were clean and everything.
How much do they want to charge you for all this stuff?
That's what I'm afraid of. They still haven't given me my car. They said I should call late this afternoon to see if it's done, and nothing is under the guarantee now, and I just don't know what to do because I'm a 66-year-old widow, and this has prevented me from working because my working is sales where I need my car, and I haven't been able to work past 10 days now. And I'm so worried what to do when I go there, and it's going to be a fantastic bill.
Well, I don't know what to tell you until we find out what their bill is.
Well, the sign says $38 an hour in parts.
Yeah, but that doesn't tell us anything.
No.
Why don't you call them and ask them what the, or stop?
Well, yesterday when they called me and said I could pick it up, and I went there, and they said on the phone they couldn't tell me what the bill was because they had the car done, but they have to work out the bill. And then when I went there, they said they don't have the bill worked out because the car is not finished. And so I wondered if it would be advisable to put on my visa and then put it into contestation or whatever you call it.
No, I don't know that. First of all, you see, we're making some assumptions here. That it should be contested, that there's no legitimacy to what they're doing. I don't know any of these things. I think you mentioned that you do have a mechanic that you trust.
Yes, very much.
I think I would take him along with me when I went to pick up the car and say, listen, I'm here to represent Mrs. So-and-so. I'd like you to explain exactly what you guys have been doing to this car and why you have done these things. Because then at least if you do, and by all means, yes, put it in the credit card. It gives you some leverage. And don't go in there romping and stomping and breathing through your ears. Otherwise, they may not accept your credit card.
No, I haven't. I've tried to keep a sense of humor and my cool. And told them, well, what's going to blow next?
Have you explained to them, how old a car is this?
It's 4.5 years old with 26,000 miles on it.
Wow. Have you explained to them that you're unable to work and you got to get the car back?
Yes, and they wouldn't give me a loaner until yesterday. Finally, they gave me a loaner because I said, I'm not going to leave the place till I get something to drive. So they finally loaned me a car late yesterday afternoon. And then my mechanic had told me that they'll probably rip me off at the dealers because he says they're known for that.
Lovely.
I believe that that's what they are doing, and I'm
well before it's over. You see, we're floundering around in the dark here because we don't know what they're going to charge you, if anything.
They're going to charge me because I asked that. And they said yes.
Well, the question is, how much do they have all the old parts and so on and so forth?
Someone to count on, a friend you can turn to, someone to share with, because that's what friends do. Someone to listen, Talknet, someone who cares.
Well, hello there.
Hey, pleased you came in. Yeah, I am indeed. I'm Bruce Williams. Welcome. Welcome to my world. Welcome to Talknet. We talk to you with it about you and your life, your hopes, your ambitions, your dreams, all of the things that set you aside. I'm really pleased you're here. I'm Bruce. Welcome to Talknet. Our telephone number, if you'd like to play the game, is 800-743-8000. Of course, it's toll-free. I don't know how long we have to keep saying that. Everybody knows 800 numbers are free. Unfortunately, there's those 9s and 7s that can cost you a ton. 800-743-8000. Let's begin the festivities in Los Altos, California. Hello there.
Hi, my name is Ann.
Yes, Ann. How are you?
Okay, I'm a 60-year-old widow, and as I told your assistant, he said for me to tell you, is that I plan to work till I drop dead.
Man, you and me together, baby.
And my grandson, he's 9, lives in Idaho, southern Idaho, and I'm interested in buying a very small trailer park. And because it would provide a roof over my head, because where I'm still going to have to work, well, if I could work.
You're going to buy a job, you're telling me.
Yeah.
All right. What kind of money's involved here, kid?
It would take, probably I'd wind up with about an under $100,000 mortgage.
Well, no, wait a minute. Wait, that isn't what I asked you.
Okay.
I asked you how much is it going to take. You told me how much you're going to borrow. How much is the deal going to take?
It will take a fifth of that.
What do you mean a fifth of that?
$20,000 down.
All right, so then we're investing $120,000.
No, it'll cost you about $70,000.
Well, where'd the 100,000 number come from?
Well, that's what they originally wanted.
Well, that doesn't matter. Now, wait a minute.
All right.
You're playing with me here.
All right.
How much is this place going to sell for right now?
They're trying to sell for it for $90,000. They reduced it from $100,000.
And how much are you prepared to pay for it?
$85,000.
Well, that's the number then. Not 100, not 70,
That's
not.
If I get it at that.
85 is our number. If you're going to get it at that. Let's take the number 90. Let's take the number they're asking now. You know you can get it for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're going to try to borrow some money from whom?
I can finance it for the woman that owns it.
Well, that's the only place you're going to finance. That's why I asked the question.
No, the bank will finance it.
I'd be amazed. Are you sure of that?
Yes, I'm sure of it.
How do you know that?
I had called on it last October.
And they told you they'd give you the money on a trailer park?
Yeah, if I, put down 20%.
Well,
and lived on it.
Well, that's another matter. All right, how many trailers can you park in this place?
45.
45?
Yeah, small.
That's good size in terms of $70,000, 85 or 90 grand to buy it.
Well, this part of Idaho is depressed.
How much is one? All right, let's go this route then, Ann. How many people are living there now? How many of the sites are occupied?
35.
How much do they get per site a month?
$60 a month.
All right, that's $1,800, $2,100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
21,000, over 25 grand a year rentals.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. The expenses are $12,000.
And how are the expenses broken down?
Taxes, the van insurance.
Maintenance, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
So it's going to net, and you're going to get a place to live plus $12,000 or $13,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
There's no debt service included in that expense item, is there?
No.
All right. So if you're going to put down 20, you're going to borrow 70, right?
Yeah.
How long a period of time would she allow you to pay it off?
15.
Yeah. I don't have a book in front of you. Have you worked the payments out?
Yeah, I've got it in front of me.
How much?
At 10%, it comes to $752.50.
All right, $750 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Added, that's $9,000 a year. Added to the 12 is 21.
Yeah.
You're only going to get $4,000 a year income.
Mm-hmm. That's all right.
Plus a place to live.
Yeah.
Is there a trailer thrown into this mess that you can live in?
There's a 2-bedroom house.
On the property?
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad deal. It doesn't sound a bad deal to me.
I was just wondering, because I'm healthy and can do small repairs. My father was in the building trade, so I know how to put washers.
Doesn't sound like a bad deal to me. You're going to get a place to live. You're going to only invest $20,000 of your own cash, and you're going to net $4,000. And I can't imagine it's going to be anything like a full-time job. And if you get lucky and get the other 10 spaces rented out, that would materially increase your income, another $7,200 a year.
Yeah. Well, you can add on more to it as far as like adding some more pads and.
Yeah, but that costs money for utilities and the rest of it.
In that right now.
Well, what you'd be interested in is getting the other 10 pads filled.
Yeah, but they're building a Walmart down the street.
Well, that's going to help you.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Doesn't sound like a bad deal to me, baby.
Yeah, okay. Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Bye-bye.
I wish you well, honey. I'm Bruce
Bye-bye.
Williams. This is Talknet. Pocatello, Idaho. Hello there.
How you doing, Bruce?
I'm doing... What's on your mind?
Well, I'm a specialty contractor. I just recently moved here from Texas, and the problem took place down there. The manufacturer distributor, there's 4 of them in the United States, and I work with one particularly. Now I don't work with this one anymore. But
you did specialty? I don't quite. What do you do?
It's floor covering,
All right.
commercially and residentially.
Uh-huh.
And my big work is in schools. It's especially covering in schools. And it's kind of hard to get in the business. When you go to bid one of these jobs, it says in the specs you must have 3 years experience. And so how do you get the experience without, you can't get a job? But
working for somebody else, that's how you get
to
these.
prove yourself before you get in, and I'm in.
Yep.
Now my problem is I've always paid my account on time like clockwork. And I know another guy that's my competition that owed this particular outfit $30,000. Now, the job come up and we bid the job and they give him a better deal just to try to push the work his way so he could pay on his account.
Well, I can understand that. I was in the Air Force with a guy that they made him a major. He was a captain.
Uh-huh.
They made him a major because he racked up an airplane, had to pay the airplane off. He was flying a plane. The allegation was he was blasted when he was flying the plane. And they made him a major because they knew they couldn't take enough out of his pay and let him live, so they promoted him. Happens.
I mean, there's no ethics or anything there as far as...
I'm telling you, that's not. I'm telling you that a million years ago they did the same thing.
Yeah.
No, they're protecting their own interest. He's into him for $30,000. They figure if they can throw him some business, they're going to get their money. Otherwise, they'll never see it again.
Let me ask you this.
I'd do the same thing if I were in their position.
Let me throw another curve at you.
Go ahead.
Now, this outfit is there's, like I say, 4 manufacturers, and these are the crookedest ones of them all. But in this business, you have to use graded material that has to go through pretty rigid specifications.
All right.
And they manufacture it. But I know of 2 jobs in Texas, 2 schools that got put in generic maple, and they had the warehouseman use a phony stamp and stamp this material. So
what does that got to do with Pocatello, Idaho?
Well, it's just that I kind of want to ruin their day because they ruined mine. I mean, I didn't get the job. It was about a $45,000 contract, and it just ticked me off. And I just kind of, I don't know, I just want to ruin their day. At this point, I owe them $3,000. After I found out about this, I just did not pay any more on my account.
Let me ask you a serious question.
Okay.
Would you have done any differently if you were in their position? The guy's into him for $30,000. They're not going to get it unless he gets work. Would you not favor them to get the work so you can get your $30,000?
If I was a manufacturer, I think I would treat the people that treated me fair.
But we're still stuck for $30,000. Now, how did they treat you unfairly?
They give him a better price. They let him beat me by about $4,500 on this particular job so he could get the job. So it ended up costing me a lot more than that. It actually ended up costing me the job. So
I understand that.
So it just ticked me off to the point where I want to ruin their day.
What you want to do is blow the whistle on them in some way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, whistleblowers usually get their you-know-what in the ringer.
Yeah, I understand that. And
well, I think it's Let me give you repeat to you it is an expression of Italian origin. All right.
Okay.
And I want you to think about this a little bit. It says revenge, which is what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Is a dish best eaten cold.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You may get some short-term satisfaction out about, as you put it, spoiling their day.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to do business with them ever again.
Well, I don't. I deal with the manufacturer.
Yeah, but people are going to say, "Oh, yeah, that's good old Henry. We pulled a little fast deal, and guess who went to the feds or whoever it happens to be."
Yeah.
They will avoid you like somebody with a communicable social disease.
I mean, that's really fine, because I really don't want to ever deal with them either.
I'm talking about anybody in the business.
No, because I've treated the other people...
It doesn't matter.
...who wanted my business,
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, what your first name is what?
Rick.
Rick, if I knew one of the guys I was dealing with pulled a stunt like you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I would never do business with him. I'll tell you why, because sooner or later I'm liable to be in a vulnerable position.
Uh-huh.
And this sucker, let's assume that I'm in business and I'm dealing with Rick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm dealing with good old Rick, and we have a problem. Let's face it, everybody in business from time to time has problems. We have a spill in the back of our place and some solvent goes on the ground, right? And we're going to get this stuff cleaned up, but the last thing I want is the EPA and a DN, all these people running down my throat, right?
Yeah.
But I'm dealing with Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, I got to be very careful not to have Rick at even the least bit angry, because the first thing you know, he'll be calling the authorities on me, because he has a track record of doing that. Well, I don't want Rick anywhere near my place, therefore I'm not going to do business with a guy like that. Now, you can say that morally I'm bankrupt, and you may be right.
Uh-huh.
There have been all kinds of whistleblower laws passed. People call and they report something that's going on at work and they get fired. Well, would you fire somebody who reported you?
If I was president...
All I want to know is, Rick, you got a business, and you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. And all of us have in our lifetime. Please don't tell me you don't, because I know you do.
Uh-huh.
You cut a corner somewhere. And you had an employee that blew the whistle on you. Would you keep him on a payroll?
No.
You're damn right you wouldn't.
No.
And would you trust somebody who had done that to somebody else? If a guy walks in and got fired from his job, why did he get fired? Because he blew the whistle on his boss for doing something he shouldn't have done. Would you hire that guy?
I'd like to know...
Rick, I want to answer, would you hire that guy?
No.
You answered my question, Rick. You're going to get short-term satisfaction. It'll come back to haunt you. Now, those are the realities. And there's people out there saying, you so-and-so, you should tell people to do what's right and moral. And I agree with all that. But the reality is that the word gets out that you're the guy that did this, a lot of people will never, ever do business with you because you're not to be trusted.
Uh-huh.
If you do it, man, do it anonymously is what I'm telling you.
All right, Bruce.
Rick, I'm deadly serious, son.
Okay, I understand.
I wish you well, guy.
Thank you.
I'm Bruce Williams. Hang in. A lot of people aren't going to agree with that. That's okay. The morality is a different matter. Fact is that you're not going to be trusted by a lot of people in industry. I did a thing earlier this week on one of our affiliates, and the host was really a little upset with the things I had to say. We were talking about politics and whatever, and there are a lot of people out there that say, well, if a guy cheats on his wife, he'll cheat the country. That may or may not be the case. But if you eliminated every man and woman from politics who ever had an extracurricular affair, you've eliminated half the country. Half the country. I know Ross Perot says if your wife can't trust you, I can't, or something of that nature. And we get into areas of morality which become very, very troublesome. But I just have to believe that in the practical world, that there are certain things you got to, not to say overlook, but you got to be very careful because it can come back to haunt you forever. And I think somebody else said something about 2,000 years ago about casting the first stone, but that's another program. I'm Bruce Williams. This is Talknet. Jacksonville, Florida. Hello there.
Hi, Bruce. I have a question for you.
Let's
First of all, let me brief you for a moment here on it. I went on vacation to another state.
That'll do it. Going on vacation every time. That'll ruin you.
Absolutely. But here's the problem.
Where'd you go?
I went to West Virginia.
All right.
I went back home. I now live in Florida here, and I went back home and visited my grandparents. And I was driving my relative's vehicle. And
car?
Excuse me?
A car?
A truck.
Okay.
And this is what happened. As you know, the road, I don't know if you've ever been to West Virginia, but the roads are real curvy. Mm-hmm. And this sports car was going around. It was cutting curves, and it run me off the road. And I got into some gravel, and I rolled the vehicle, went through a fence, and et cetera, and I totaled it and spent 4 days in the hospital.
Oh, boy.
And I've been off work now for probably about 4 weeks, and the doctor anticipates another 4 weeks that I would be off. Mm-hmm. And her insurance company gave it to an independent adjuster.
Oh, back up. Whose insurance company?
My aunt's insurance company.
All right. We don't know who the sports car guy was, huh?
Right. He never stopped. He just
All right.
went on.
So he's out of the picture. All right. Go ahead.
But I wasn't charged with the accident. I have 2 witnesses, the other 2 cars behind me, saying that, it was not my fault. Mm-hmm. And the police record and everything shows that. Okay, well, her insurance company gave it to an independent adjuster, and they called and interviewed me because I had to stay up there. The doctor would not release me. Well, last week he released me to come home.
And why were they interviewing you on which matter, the collision insurance or on the You being injured, which?
On me being injured.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, and they told me that they would pay my back wages and everything, that I would be off. Okay, well, the doctor released me, and I came back to Jacksonville, and I called and told him, that they'd released me to come back home, but there was only to my family doctor. There would be more hospital bills and et cetera. And he said, yeah, they would also pay for my back wages. Well, I got a phone call from him this morning saying that they was not liable for that. If I could catch the other guy, then yes, that would be a different story. But they're not liable for that. So
I'm surprised about the wages, to be candid with you. I'm surprised that they would accept liability for that. The medical expenses clearly are covered because they took place in the vehicle, and without regard to liability, they're on the hook. But I don't see why they would be on the hook for wages. If you want to stick around, we'll talk about it. I'm Bruce Williams for Talknet.
9 a.m.
In Jacksonville, Florida, she was in an accident in West Virginia driving I guess her aunt's truck. Doesn't really matter who owned it. But she didn't own it, that's the point. And she was forced off the road. Not her fault. Now, I can understand under the ordinary automobile insurance that they would be responsible for your medical injuries up to whatever the limits of the policy are without regard to liability. Under the medical coverage. I don't see under what coverage they would be responsible for your wages, except perhaps under your aunt's liability. But how would she be determined to be negligent? You were driving the truck.
that's what I don't understand. At first they told me that, that I was liable and I could get something, but then they came back and this morning and told me that I couldn't. I was just curious as what could be done or if it's anything at all.
Well, in my experience, I don't see anybody who's going to pay you.
Okay.
I see the guy who owned the truck or the car would maybe be responsible if he could prove he ran you off and so forth. But that's academic. He's history. Uninsured motorists might cover, except you'd have to know who the guy was to prove he was uninsured, because it doesn't kick in unless he's uninsured. And we don't know if he was insured or uninsured because we don't know who he was. Exactly. So we can eliminate that coverage. Liability insurance on your part of your aunt? Well, what did your aunt do to be liable? What did she do that was negligent? How is she culpable? How is she wrong?
Nothing, as I can see, not at all.
I don't see where I think you're out of luck on the wages. Now, is there in Florida disability insurance like there is in some states? When you're on the job, you get paid. You pay into a fund. Your employer pays into a fund, and you get disability insurance.
Right, I have that.
Well, in that case, that's the place to look for your money.
Okay.
For your wages.
Okay.
Okay, kid.
Okay.
I do wish you well.
Thanks.
I'm Bruce Williams. Hang in. Delighted you're here on Talknet. All righty, we're going to Britain, South Dakota. Hello there.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi. Britain must be a very small place.
About 1,400 people.
Yeah, I thought I knew South Dakota reasonably well. Never heard of Britain. What's on your mind, my dear? I'm sorry?
It's up in the northeast corner.
Uh-huh. And the cold country.
Very cold.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
You know what I think about cold.
I sure do. I've been listening to you for a long time.
Well,
we've logged many miles together.
Well, I'm glad we can keep you company. You're a safe driver now. I don't want to be in jeopardy here.
No. You keep me awake.
Okay.
I have a very quick question. I'm looking for a creative solution.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a problem with a major, well-known credit card company.
Yeah, but a lot of people do have those problems.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of problem?
Well, the problem is this. I sent out several payments on one day, and I think the mailman went south with them is what happened.
All of them?
Several things were missing that I had mailed, particularly a car payment, a payment to this credit card company, and also a payment to my dentist. I had no problems in the other two instances. They didn't come through in the bank statement. I replaced the payment, no sweat.
Mm-hmm.
This company, I sent a letter, and I said, gosh, this payment hasn't shown up, therefore the attached statement doesn't reflect the payment, and here is a replacement check. Everything should be cleared up, no problem. Except that was about a year and a half ago, and we're still arguing about it. And
What are you arguing about, the interest or the check?
I'm arguing about the fact that they've reported me as delinquent.
Well, you were delinquent.
But there's a presumption in the law that if you place a check or any sort of item in the mail...
There's no such presumption.
It is presumptively received.
I don't believe so. I know of no such presumption. The only place where the postmark is operative, and I think this is a real glitch in our laws, is on tax matters.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it seems to me it would be much more there would be a great deal of uniformity if every business, including those that I own, that you participate in, would be required to accept as a payment date the postmark on an envelope, and then you can ensure or reasonably ensure delivery by certifying that letter.
Right.
Return receipt requested. But you see,
you're not going to receive every payment.
Well, no, I understand that. But if you're working very close, you may or may not. But the point is, right now, even if the envelope gets there and they say it got here 2 days late, you're liable for late charges, and in fact, you are delinquent. And we have the system. The system really has a big hole in it, and the only way you could patch that hole was what you say you would not do, and that is pay everything return receipt requested.
Right.
But there is no such presumption that I know of that you described. Well, most businesses, certainly anything that I'm involved with, will say, hey, if you've got a good payment record up until now, right?
Right, which I have.
We'll say, hey, look, these things happen and we'll take care of it.
Right.
But when you start dealing with some monolith that has no personality but 2 million accounts, that's where the problem can develop. And I'm willing to bet you, maybe I'm wrong, I know you're talking, are we talking about a bank card or a travel and leisure card?
We're talking about a bank card, and it's a preferred account.
There's no such thing as a preferred account.
Well, that's what they call it.
Well, but that doesn't mean
And it's
anything.
an extremely high credit line.
Well, that doesn't mean anything either, really.
Perfect credit up until this time.
I understand
and
that.
Perfect credit
but we're
afterwards.
talking about, I'll bet you're dealing with a huge bank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
But
if you're dealing with a small bank, seriously now, if you were dealing with a small bank, and I have credit cards with both. One, because it just happened, I got the damn thing and it's been passed. You know how they sell their accounts?
Right.
And I'm in some Midwestern bank, but I've never had a problem. But I also have with a small bank. With the small bank, I could call the president of the bank.
Sure.
And he could get it reversed in a hurry.
Right.
But the big bank, where they have tons of operators and whatever, you never get to the right person. That is the difficulty.
Letters to the president of the bank in New York, return receipt requested.
And did they respond?
He had some lower echelon person
naturally,
send me back.
He never got the letter. Let's start with that.
Okay.
That got routed to somebody. But okay, though. So the letter came back and said what?
Basically, we're sorry. I've sent them copies of canceled checks proving I've always been on time before.
Yeah. Well, they've got that record. So what do they say?
And they're disputing the fact, basically, that this payment was ever mailed to them in good faith. I've been dealing with this company now for probably 12 years.
I'd walk with my feet in a hurry.
Well, I did that. I cut the card up. I sent it back to him in the latest letter that I sent to him, and I paid off the full balance on the account.
Right.
And I even wrote on the check, cashing this check forms a binding contract, yak, 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 which I doubt is enforceable.
It's not.
And, told him, because of your lack of
I understand what
I'm taking my business.
They don't give a damn.
And I'm getting nowhere. And the problem is, I have to renew my student loans for my last year of school.
One bad thing on your credit thing is not going to shoot down your loans in more likelihood. It may, but I don't think so. I share your frustration. What is your first name?
Janie.
Janie, I understand what you're going through, okay? I don't want to. I've probably told the story in the air. If I haven't, maybe I shouldn't. But it doesn't matter. I'm gonna make it quick, okay?
Okay.
Meaning, I'm involved in one or two businesses here and there, right? And one of the companies that I have do I have control? I don't think I have control, but I've got a pretty good piece of. All right. Had a credit line, and this one of these. This is a pretty good sized bank. It's one of these things. It was a little bank, and it got gobbled up. About 6 banks later, it's a huge bank, right?
Right.
And we have our own officer now. One of those your private banker kind of thing, right?
Right. Sure.
All right. Well, I try to get hold of a private banker. Well, some bimbo was my private banker, and I use the word bimbo deliberately because this woman has nothing between her eardrums except a lot of space.
Yeah, I've talked to them too.
It took 5 days to figure out that she was my personal banker because she'd just been assigned and didn't know who the hell she was assigned to. Now, the company had applied for a $30,000 draw on a $300,000+ credit line. I said, well, you don't have a credit line anymore. I said, we don't. So why not? Well, you have to submit financials every year. Well, nobody asked us to. And bear in mind, we've been paying on a commercial loan with this corporation for like 4 or 5 years, never a late day, right?
Right.
there was a $300,000 lot. We want $30,000. $30,000. And she said, we submit the finance. I said, well, the company's not going to show any money. No small company ever shows a profit for the obvious reasons, right?
Right.
Well, the company is not. I said, look, I'm going to sign a personal guarantee. It's $30,000. This is not, in my life, $30,000 is not a lot of money.
No.
And she says, well, we found a piece of property that you own. Oh, no, first she says, buy a CD in that amount and we'll loan you the money. I said, if I wanted to loan the money, I could write a check. I don't want to loan the company money. I want you to loan the money to the company. Well, then she said, well, we have a file with a piece of property you own doesn't have a mortgage. I said, I got several of those. Well, give us a mortgage. I said, I didn't know. I applied for a mortgage. I said, let me explain something to you. We run, and I mentioned a number, which is a substantial number, with about half a dozen businesses, this much money through your bank a year. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to close the whole works out. I'd talk to my boss if I were you. She talks to her boss. The boss says, well, that's our rules. I said, what's your rule? I called another bank, and I talked to a smaller bank. I talked to the chief executive officer, and he said, you got to be kidding me. He says, you're willing to give us this and all you want. And I said, I want a bigger number because I wanted to pay out the existing. I don't want to do anything to do with this bank, right?
Right.
She said, you got it. He said, we're not loaning money to that company. We're loaning money to you. And if you aren't good for that kind of dough, there's something wrong with it. You're willing to sign a personal guarantee against your assets, yes. He says, come on down. The small bank, you see.
I know.
But this huge bank, now, all of a sudden, I'm hearing from people, well, why are you closing all these accounts out? And what can we do to fix it? The answer is nothing you can do to fix it, fellas. I am history. I am gone.
Too late.
And furthermore, I'm a stockholder in your bank, and the next stockholders meeting, I intend to be there and relate this story to the stockholders. Because nobody, even as big as your bank, can do this law. No business can abuse customers forever and survive. And the best thing you do is you vote with your feet, Jay. You remember, hey, you said student loans. You're relatively young. How old are you?
No, I'm 35.
Oh, that's relatively young, baby.
I can relate to you when you talk about going back to school because I have 2 little kids the whole bit, and I'm in law school.
Yeah, are you really? Well, where are you? 1, 2, what?
3rd year.
Very good. My daughter's finishing her last semester of law school now.
I'm studying for finals right now.
Are you for the end?
Yeah. Well, I'm graduating next year. We have a 4-year evening program.
You know, she finishes up in about 4 months, 5 months, and she's going to be a happy lady.
See, and the aggravating part is I was an accountant before I went back to school.
But here's what I want you to remember.
I have perfect credit rating.
Janie, I want you to remember this. You got another 30 years of productivity, right?
Right. Hopefully.
But you remember that bank, and you never do a nickels with the business. And every time you get the opportunity to steer business away from them, you do so, and then you drop them a note, let them know why. The best revenge.
Well, what do you think about just going directly to the credit bureau?
You can do that. You are entitled, as you should know.
Giving that a shot.
No, you're entitled by law to put a letter in your file explaining what this bank did, and I would do so.
Right. And also just going down and talking to the credit bureau who I can get to and asking them to correct the records.
No, they're not going to correct it. They're going to say, this is what was reported to by our client, and you'll have to have them correct it.
Okay. Well, at the very least, I'm going to put that letter in there. Because it's just aggravating. You work hard to maintain a good record.
You're not going to get a fight from me.
And somebody messes you up.
You're not getting a fight from me?
Negligence.
Stupidity is the word.
That too.
Stupidity. Congratulations on your loss.
It's wonderful talking with you.
I wish you well.
And I'll be listening to you.
I'll be here. I'm Bruce Williams. Stick around. Glad you're here on Talknet.
1-800-743-8000.
The Business Radio 1580 news time is 2:46 a.m. 3:46 a.m.
Fresno, California. It's your turn. Hello there.
How you doing, Bruce?
I am doing very nicely, thank you. You have to kind of raise your voice a little bit. Take a deep breath and belt it out.
Okay, I have a question with about a computer that I bought from a firm.
Are you talking to the wrong guy when it comes to computers?
Well, it's not a technical question. It's about a warranty.
Go ahead.
Okay. The company that we bought it from, we decided to buy a computer for my fiancée who's going away to law school.
Another lawyer. All these female lawyers are popping up.
Yeah, that's right.
My last friend from South Dakota, now my daughter's going to be a lawyer, and now your fiancé. We're going to be overrun with lawyers here.
That's what I've been telling her.
If we're not already.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so we wanted to get a computer that she could use for law school, and also we wanted one to be sure that she could get service out of state, because we're going to be moving up to Oregon from California.
Yeah.
So what we did is we went with a reputable manufacturer.
Reputable?
Or not reputable.
Reputable.
reputable, excuse me.
Okay. You went to nationwide manufacturer distributes all over the country.
Right, so that their service centers could deal with any problems for a year.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we went, we searched around town for prices, and I read up on it, and I've worked with a particular computer for years. And we found a good price, and it seemed like a good local small dealer. And I usually try to go to small businesses if possible, because I feel like you get better service.
Well, you can deal with an owner. I understand. There's a lot of merit to that.
Exactly. Well, we got the computer, and in January 31 we bought it and invested, basically our life savings in this machine.
Your life savings?
Well, she's going to college, and I'm only 24.
How much did this thing cost?
About $3,000.
Okay.
So we paid cash. We didn't want to get involved in credit because she's going to be $30,000 in debt after we get out of school anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the machine, and then we found out just in the past couple of weeks that the store that we bought it from in town is not certified by the manufacturer.
I mean, they're not free. Okay. They're not an authorized dealer.
Exactly.
They're
Exactly.
dealing in the gray market where they buy it from somebody else.
Exactly. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Sure I do.
So what that means is because they installed a non-standard hard drive and some non-standard features, it means that it effectively voids
the warranties.
The manufacturer's warranty.
Absolutely. You were not made aware of this ahead of time?
No, not at all.
How long ago did you buy this thing?
January 31 of 92. So it's
Have you gone back to talk to the dealer about this?
Yeah, we went back and talked to the owner of the company.
And what does he say?
And he said that they offer a warranty for this product.
Except that you're not staying in Fresno.
Exactly. And the problem is he said, well, what we could do is ship it to him, this and that, and he would take care of it and how great their service is. Well, the company that I work for bought a hard drive from them in October. And since that time, it's broken down twice. And I talked to the company's service department, and it consists of one guy who's going to college. And I said, where'd you get your training? He said, I'm just kind of picking it up as I go along. That's really...
I fill you with confidence as they give you the anesthesia. Oh, yeah, I'm picking this up as I go along, scalpel.
Yeah, exactly. So, the reason why we could have bought a used computer and saved, several $100s, but myself and particularly my fiancée said, well, if we're going to invest this much money, I want to have